Conservation Commission meeting for September 4. We'll do roll call.
Richard Johnson's here.
Lou Kruger.
Mark LePage.
Roger Trahan.
Nicole Sharamonte.
All right. So we'll open the first public hearing of the night, which will be the NOI for 1 Paddock Lane. Gentlemen,
Hi, good evening.
good to see you.
Again.
Paul's here, and Chris should be with us on Zoom.
Okay. So,
Folks, Chris on Zoom here.
hey, Chris.
Let's see. Good evening, folks. Again, Chris Frateroli, Goddard Consulting, joined by the engineer Paul and applicant Nabi in chambers. I figured I would just give a really quick run through of everything that we talked about last time around, point out a little change that we made, and just refresh everybody's memories on where we are. Oh, let's see. So just to run through quickly, we've shrunk our impact a fair bit since the initial iteration of this plan. Our house is now almost 500 square feet smaller than it had been. Our limit of work in total is, about 2,000 square feet less than it had initially been. And as a reminder, this proposal initially contained wetland fill and replication. So that has been removed entirely. We're only working in the buffer zone, no impacts to the wetlands itself. We're providing around the proposed house over 100 native plantings. Our impact total here is almost 4,000 square feet less than it was on May 20th. Importantly, as we had talked about last time, we spec'd a handful of markers to delineate essentially areas that have been renaturalized here with the goal of preventing future encroachment towards those naturalized buffer zones and ultimately the wetland itself. So you can see that in the legend here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 proposed around the existing house. We're also proposing removing some lawn and replanting around the existing house to improve an existing condition here. About 1,900 square feet. This area was picked specifically. Obviously, the lawn removal and replanting will enhance the buffer zone with respect to its ability to provide habitat value and those types of things. But specifically here, as you can see in this photo on the bottom right, we have an area where stormwater essentially just sheet flows off that existing driveway directly towards the wetland. So again, importantly, this buffer zone replanting in this area will serve to improve that condition by providing some additional filtration of pollutants, attenuation of runoff. Almost 50 plantings over on this side as well. All these planting areas will get seeded with a native seed mix, a variety of native grasses and flowering herbaceous plants, which will not only provide soil stabilization, but also some pollinator habitat. To sum up the numbers here, around the existing house, we have about 4,700 square feet of permanent disturbance. If you subtract out our 1,900 square feet of lawn removal and renaturalization around the existing house, our net disturbance is about 2,775 square feet. So that's really the number that I want to draw attention to here. To construct this house, net impact will be less than 3,000 square feet. We also inventory trees. We are fortunate that we don't have all that many mature trees to take down here. It's about 15. And again, 154 plantings proposed to offset those trees that'll be lost here. This graphic was just to illustrate kind of the general direction of surface runoff here. Relatively flat site, a lot of vegetation for any stormwater runoff to get through. So we really don't think that there is much, if any, concern about runoff reaching the wetlands. And importantly, also infiltrating roof runoff here. The roof runoff infiltration that we're providing can handle about a 1.4 inch rain event. And, this is kind of a simplified calculation. That would be, it could hold about 1.4 inches of rain over the entire roof surface, essentially if all that rain fell at once. So in all likelihood, it's a little bit more than that. I want to bring this back to the avoid, minimize, mitigate calculus that we've been talking about for a little here. We've made some pretty significant changes since the first time that this came to you. We've avoided impacts to the wetland by implementing this retaining wall, which allows us to avoid grading and consequently stretching out into and closer to the wetland itself. We've eliminated the fill and replication scheme. Similarly, allows us to avoid impacting natural buffer zone for the sake of creating a replication area. We have minimized our impact, again, by shrinking the footprint of the house. We've relocated the driveway to be able to shrink the limit of work as a whole. And for those impacts that we can't avoid or minimize, we're providing a pretty substantial amount of mitigation here. Almost 2,800 square feet of planting around the existing house, all native species, shrubs, trees, herbaceous, as well as about 1,900 square feet of lawn removal for mitigation around the existing house. Also providing that stormwater management, which again is not required of single-family home projects, but we hope that you will consider all of these components as you're making a decision here, that we have avoided impacts as much as possible. We've minimized impacts where we can, and for everything that we can't avoid or minimize, we've provided a pretty substantial amount of mitigation, really pretty much everything that we could come up with to mitigate for those impacts. So that is my piece here. If Paul or Nabi have anything to add in chambers, I would throw it to them.
Thanks, Chris.
He said it all.
You said it all. Thank you,
Okay.
Chris. That was great.
It was.
All right, well, appreciate the overview, Chris. Any questions from any of the commissioners?
Yeah, I do have one through the chair. Chris, on the last meeting, we had talked about putting boundary markers.
Right.
Is that in the conditions or will be?
We did, I did.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, so we can
Okay,
talk about that.
And you put it on the plan. So.
Okay, good, thank you.
We did show those on our plans here, so they are on paper, and I'm sure that the chair has a condition to that effect as well.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good question.
I appreciate you minimizing the impact of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I think you've done as much as you can do for this very difficult site to make it work.
Any questions in the audience and chambers here? Comments? Anybody online? We do have a hand up. John Detterman, hello.
Good evening. I have a quick question. Chris, the document indicates that it was revised on August 26th. And forgive me if I missed your note of what was changed between the 14th and the 26th. I didn't see anything.
So the only addition was those couple of boundary markers that we just mentioned. Otherwise, footprints, square footages, setbacks, distances, all those types of things are unchanged.
Great, thank you. And if I could just say that I have been following this pretty closely since March of 2023. I don't think I've missed many meetings. I'll spare everybody tonight. My position is well known. But I would like to take this chance to thank the commissioners for their diligence. I think that you have gone to the full extent to pay attention to every aspect of this, and I appreciate it. And Chris from Goddard, your professionalism is amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
John, I got to say, we appreciate all your input. We always welcome that kind of input. You've helped our thinking on a lot of different points, so we appreciate the participation.
Thank you.
Looks like we have another hand up, Tyler. I can't read that.
Renata.
Oh, Renata.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to basically echo what John just said. So thank you for, all your hard work and for everybody's professionalism. And I just appreciate you all because, you're all volunteers. So thank you.
Thank you, Anada. All right. So I think that's it for comments. What I'll do is I'll go through the conditions we've written up, if you guys are good with that, and then we'll go to a vote. So in terms of findings, following the review of the above referenced notice of intent and based on the information, this is for 1 Paddock Lane, based on the information provided in this application presented at the public hearing, the commission finds that the areas in which work is proposed is significant to the following interests of the Wetlands Protection Act: public water supply, private water supply, groundwater supply, storm damage prevention, prevention of pollution, and protection of wildlife habitat, as well as flood control. Standard special conditions we've put down would be 20 erosion control barriers, 21 extra silation barriers, 22 as-built plan, 23 written conformance reports, 24 work performed according to plan, 26 provisions of plans and orders in order of conditions, 27 approved changes, 28 notification prior to work, and we'd like to have Tyler CC'd on that, 29 right to impose additional conditions, 30 erratas change, 31 compliance contact information, 32 weekly monitoring reports, 33 use of clean fill, 34 no straw bales, 35 stockpile maintenance, 37 remedy upon problem identification, 38 barriers as limit of work, 39 limit of work mark, 40 no construction materials, 41 inspection of disposal of sediment, 43 no fertilizers, 44 removal of barriers, 46 stockpile location, 47 removal of sediment, 48 no refueling, 49 emergency repairs, 50 leaks and spills, 51 building permits sign off, and then we added the additional special conditions, 52 the applicant shall submit a schedule of site visits to the Conservation Commission Department for monitoring of progress, and that schedule will be approved prior to the commencement of work. 53, applicant shall provide a plan to install and install signage every 10 feet along the northwest perimeter of the new house and yard, as well as along the frontage of the new plantings on the existing lot noting conservation resource area. These signs will be provided by the Conservation Commission to be approved prior to the commencement of work. Applicant shall provide, number 54, applicant shall provide the Conservation Department and Commission with a 2-year schedule of updates on the monitoring of all native plantings included in this project to be approved prior to the commencement of work. The applicant is responsible for replacing any native plantings that fail prior to the certificate of compliance being issued. Certificate of compliance of this project will not be issued until the 2-year monitoring schedule for all native plantings included in this project have been completed. All good?
That's good, yes.
All right. So with that, I will take a motion to close the NOI on 1 Paddock Lane.
I'll give you a motion to close the NOI for 1 Paddock Lane.
Want to second that?
Vote to close.
Right, second it first. Okay.
Vote to close.
Vote to close.
Vote to close.
Close.
All right, and then Lou, you want to give me a motion to approve the NOI for 1 Paddock Lane?
With conditions as.
Thank you.
I'll give you a motion to approve the, 1 Paddock Lane with conditions
Stated.
as stated.
I vote to,
I'll second that. All right.
And I'll vote to approve it.
Vote to approve.
I'll vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Approve.
All right. Approved, motion carries. Thank you,
so
guys.
much.
Appreciate all the hard work.
Thank you. No, I
Yeah.
Thank you,
appreciate
folks.
it.
We appreciate your
Thanks,
help with
Chris.
us on this.
Thanks for putting up with us.
Hey, it's worth the time, right?
2 years, more than 2 years.
Yeah.
Thank you, I really appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
We'll do it right.
Good luck.
Thanks.
With that, we will open up the NOI for 102 Panther Way. Do we have anybody? Hello, gentlemen.
Good evening.
They don't rec,
Good. Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Rick Goodrow with United Consultants, Brad Chaffee, applicant for the project. 2 weeks ago, when we were here to go over some of the changes that we had made to the plans, the commission had discussed their intent, I believe, was to start drafting a order of conditions, hopefully in the affirmative. The chair brought up one comment that we had discussed, which was we were awaiting the final peer review from Beta with regard to the planning board. We received that last Friday after the deadline to file. They did have 9 items that they have deferred to the planning board. I would be happy to go through them if you'd like. None of them really had much to do with, or had to do with the conservation
Yeah, I mean,
portion
if it
of this.
doesn't impact the path.
Correct, with the
Yeah,
path.
Yeah,
And then 2 were deferred to the DPW. One
Okay.
was for a sewer easement, A&R plans to be prepared, actually cutting up the lots, drainage easements, language, open space conveyance. So, I mean, a lot of those items were deferred to the board. A view shed analysis, we had located the trees over 15 inches as requested in their regulations, and we didn't locate them, I shouldn't say, we did an inventory of them. So, those items were addressed by us, and now Beta is recommending that the board make a decision as to, sidewalks, things of that nature.
okay.
All right, site lighting, things of that nature. And as I said, I can go through them. I do have a copy, if you'd like a copy of the,
No, if it doesn't affect the path, I think, unless, you got anybody? Yeah, okay. You good?
so yeah, that's basically what, we
Okay.
wanted to update you with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? None. Okay, anybody in chambers or online? All right, so as you mentioned, we did write up conditions, so we'll read those, make sure we have no issues. Similarly, the last one, finding pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, following review of the above reference being 100-102 Panther Way, reference notice of intent, and based on the information provided in this application presented at the public hearing, the commission finds that the areas in which work is proposed is significant to the following interests of the Wetlands Protection Act: public water supply, private water supply, groundwater supply, storm damage prevention, prevention of pollution, protection of wildlife habitat. With the standard special conditions, 20 erosion control barriers, 20 extra silation barriers, 22 as-built plan, 23 written conformance reports, 24 work performed according to plan, 25 referencing order of conditions, 26 provisions of plans and orders of conditions, 27 approved changes, 28 notification prior to work, 29 right to impose additional conditions, 30 errata as changes, 31 compliance contact information, 32 weekly monitoring reports, 33 use of clean fill, 34 no straw bales, 35 stockpile maintenance, 37 remedy upon problem identification, 37 I'm sorry, that was 37 remedy upon problem identification, 38 barriers as to limit of work, 39 limit of work marked, 40 no construction materials, 41 inspections and disposal of sediment, 42 no rock salt, 43 no fertilizers, 44 removal of barriers, 47 removal of sediment, 48 no refueling, 49 emergency repairs, 50 leaks and spills, 51 building permits sign off. And then for the additional special conditions, and we realize some of these have been, we did talk about last week, but just like to have them in the conditions. So 52, applicant shall provide the Conservation Commission and Department a plan to protect the wetland resources on site during any blasting, and that plan to be approved before the commencement of work. We did talk about that last week. Applicant will schedule a site visit with the Conservation Commission and Department to ensure the plans to protect wetland resources during any blasting are in place before commencement of blasting. 54, applicant shall provide to the Conservation Commission and Department final verbiage of the signs indicating that any maintenance of the path should not occur outside of that path and the signage be approved before the commencement of work. 55, applicant shall submit to the Conservation Commission and Department a revised construction sequence to include construction of the pedestrian path while minimizing tree cutting to be approved before the commencement of work, which we had done. 56, the applicant shall submit to the Conservation Commission and Department the species mix for the proposed seed mix on the plans, and that those species in the mix be approved prior to the commencement of work. 57, the applicant shall demonstrate to the Conservation Commission and Department that all revegetation has resulted in successfully covering 75% of the planted areas. And 58, the applicant shall add into their operations and management plan and provide it to the Conservation Department Commission a plan for provide that plan for keeping the area clear of trash and debris prior to the commencement of work. All good?
Yes.
All right. With that, Roger, you want to give us a motion to approve the, what? Oh, good catch, good catch. So you can give us a motion to close the NOI for 100, 102 Panther
I'd
Way.
like to make a motion to close the NOI public hearing for 100, 102 Panther Way.
Second,
All right,
vote to close.
Vote to close.
vote to close.
Vote to close.
Close?
All right, Nicole, you want to give us the motion to approve the NOI for 100, 102 Panther Way with conditions as stated?
I give a motion to approve the NOI for 100 to 102 Panther Way with standard conditions,
Conditions as stated.
as stated.
Excellent.
I'll second that,
All right,
and I'll vote to approve it.
Vote to approve.
vote to approve.
Approve.
Approve?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate the work. All right. And next, we are on to we'll open the NOI for 444 East Central Street. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm good, I just need to have you, let me share.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name's AJ Alavisos. I'm with the applicant Tag Central LLC. I'm joined here tonight by Chris Frateroli from Goddard. He's on Zoom. Carlton Quinn of Allen and Major, who's our civil engineer. And we've brought in Beals Associates, Todd Morey, principal with Beals Associates. They are very well versed in determining base flood elevations for Zone A floodplains, which we have on this site. We consulted Todd, and he put together a further engineering report at the request of Beta in their last peer review letter, and also per a comment from the process of the ANRAD filing that we went through prior to the notice of intent filing. So Todd is here tonight to present the report that we submitted last week to the commission, if that's okay with the chair. Okay.
That'd be great.
With the commission's permission, I'd like to share my screen. I do have a presentation.
Yeah,
I noticed
Tyler will get that.
Yep, he had actually set me up for it.
You're on the Zoom call.
Pull that up. All right, perfect. Looks like it's up there. What's that?
Yep.
So as AJ mentioned, we were brought in mainly to look at one very specific and isolated area. So, and that's the limits of bordering land subject to flooding based on the updated flood maps. As you know, July 8th of this year, new flood maps came out in a lot of areas throughout the Commonwealth. In some areas, there were really no changes. In other areas, very, very small. In areas such as this, they added additional coverage through there. And I think that's one of the sources of some of the prior meetings, that the discussions that went on. So Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act is very clear about how to define bordering land subject to flooding. And they actually did contemplate what happens in the event you have a site like this. So the first way you define it is if they've already done some routing through there, if they've done calculations through there, if profiles have been established along a stream or around a lake or a pond or other water body, they establish it, FEMA establishes an AE zone. And those are zones that have an elevation assigned to them. Sometimes the elevations step up incrementally, especially if you're in a riverine situation. Other times they're just flat, they're stagnant for ponds, lakes, and larger water bodies. In some cases, you have an A zone, which is what we have here on this site. And that's where FEMA and the National Flood Insurance Program has not gone in and done any flood routing, looked at any calculations, analyzed culverts, blockages, and things like that. So the Wetlands Protection Act, when it was written, they contemplated this, and they foresaw that this was going to be an issue. So they provided some steps in it to guide applicants on how to calculate the limits of bordering land subject to flooding in those situations. And they're very clear about how they do that. And it's up on the screen now. This is a clip directly out of the Wetlands Protection Act. I didn't write this, so this has got their exact language in it. They're looking for engineering calculations which are based on a design storm of 7 inches of precipitation in 24 hours. And keep that in mind because that becomes important later on in this discussion. Based upon some standard methodology set in the USCS TR 55 manuals, that really has to do with watersheds, cover, times of concentration, things like that, and prepared by a registered professional engineer or other professional competent in such matters. And I think for the purposes of this analysis, that would be me. So what do we do when we get into these situations? There's a couple of different types of things that we look at. Prior Army Corps and FEMA information tells you on a smaller project, such as a single-family house lot, one of the ways you can do it is you can just overlay the limits of the flood map onto, well, in the old days it used to be USGS contours, nowadays it would be LiDAR data, and see if there's any correlation between that shadowing and what the elevations are. That doesn't apply to a project of this size. That really is limited to single-family house lots, maybe up to 2 or 3 lots in a subdivision. Something like this, that really wouldn't apply. But we still do use it as a first step, just as kind of a reality check to make sure that you know, what we're about to undertake is going to make some sense. And we did that, and this graphic shows the results of that. And what we found is that for the most part, along the main Uncas Brook flow path, it was correlating to about elevation 269, 270, somewhere in there. In the inset that you can see up in the upper right corner, there's a couple of lines. There's a blue line and a red line. The blue line is the FEMA map that's overlaid onto the LiDAR. That red line is actually tracing elevation 270. So you can see it correlates pretty well. Then you hit that southerly culvert crossing. It starts to wobble off it. You hit the northerly crossing, and it's almost like all bets are off. It really doesn't correlate well to anything. So that shows us that you know, you can't just rely on overlaying that and calling it a day and then establishing from there. So we have a couple of different ways that we can then go about calculating this. As I noted, we looked at 3 specific points as we went through this analysis. Northern Spy Road, which is really the downstream boundary of what our analysis was, off the project site, and in this case it's down to the lower left. I'll put the highlighter right on it. That laser point is right on it now. And then there's 2 sets of site culverts that we looked at. We'll call them the southerly site culvert, which is really located about here, and then a northerly site culvert, which is here. Okay, and those are culverts that are intended to stay, I believe, in the post-development condition.
Are they the same, is that one culvert each at that location, or?
No, actually, in this location, the northern one, there's 2.
Right,
And
okay.
the southern one, there's a single.
There's one, okay.
So a couple of different ways you can determine this. You can go out and do a lot of field work and study the watershed for a long period of time. Because a lot of this FEMA work gets done based on USGS programming, national NRCS mapping, and things like that, what we like to do is we just use a USGS program known as StreamStats. With StreamStats, as long as there's a defined flow path or channel, stream channel, we can pick individual points along that, and it'll run an analysis for us. Some of the things that it'll come up with, I've just shown an example of one of the analyses that we ran. I believe this one is, let's see, this one looks to be the one at Northern Spire Road. It'll tell us the size of the watershed that contributes it. It'll tell us some land cover characteristics, but more importantly, it'll also give us flows over in here for various percent return floods. For the purpose of this discussion, as you run down through this, and you'll see these numbers pop up again in some of the other analyses, a 50% flood is 2-year storm, 20% is a 5, and then a 10-year storm, 25-year storm, 50, 100 is the 1% storm, and then it also runs us a 200 and a 500-year storm, which probably won't talk too much about those. And then we have to define our downstream boundary, which, as I said, is down at Northern Spire Road. Where that road crosses over Uncas Brook, on one side of the road, there's water. On the other side of the road, it was dry. The guys that did the field work for me, I sent them out a week later, and I said, "Are you sure that's dry?" Sent them out a week later. They told me it was dry. They were in the area on another matter. I had them take a photograph again. So August 12th, August 19th, August 27th, the downstream side of those culverts is dry. Upstream side, there's water right to the bottom of the culvert. So there's just nothing coming through it. And then the chart down in the lower right corner, that is the drought condition as of September 2nd. So if you look at where Franklin is, which is right there, there's nothing in there. The lighter shade of yellow is moderately dry, and then as you get out towards the Cape and kind of north central Massachusetts, you start to get into some of the moderate drought areas of the state. But as of September 2nd, no drought. So if the state had been under some state of drought, I may have changed my thoughts about that downstream condition because it just would have been abnormally dry. The next thing we do is we start to run those flows that we calculated using StreamStats through a culvert analysis program. Federal Highway Administration has developed a program called HY8. It's fairly useful in running multiple storms through a culvert scenario because it can analyze quite a few things. Most importantly, it not only analyzes whether you have a headwater or tailwater control, but it also analyzes what happens if you overtop the road. And if you put the roadway geometry or the crossing geometry in, it can also tell you the spread. And it takes that into account when it's figuring out its headwater elevations. Okay? So using a tailwater condition of free discharge based on the dry flows, we started running those through 2-year all the way up to the 500-year storm through that Northern Spire Road culvert. This chart shows basically what the result of that was. We have the discharges here, which are basically the flows that came out of the StreamStats, and this is the corresponding headwater elevation given a free discharge on the downstream side. 100-year storm here, 271.17. I wanted to highlight that in this case because I know when the applicant's team was here presenting the ANRAD and subsequently issued the ORAD, one of the arguments that they made was that should be looked at as elevation 271 up to that area because of the overtopping on Northern Spire Road. Right. This kind of validates that. This calculation and that assumption vary by 2 inches. I think given the way all these things are done, 2 inches is a pretty good correlation.
So the 100-year storm says it comes up to what,
271.17.
271.17, so that's
Yep.
2 inches.
Yep. The other thing it tells us is it tells us at what point that road overtops. So that road overtops at about elevation 270.4. It might be 270.5. I will tell you, I didn't go down and survey that. We used the LiDAR data coming across there just to try to figure out how that curve goes in. So it overtops at about that with a flow of 76.1 CFS, roughly. That comes in between the 2-year and the 5-year storm. Okay. That doesn't seem like much, But later on, you'll see what those rainfall events are. That's somewhere between 3 and 5 inches of rain in a 24-hour period. So it's a good amount of rain, but it's rain that you've seen relatively recently. It's not like the 10-inch rainfall in 24 hours that doesn't happen often. So we repeated that analysis with the next two culverts moving upstream. And what we did in that, what we varied, is instead of using free discharge on those culverts, we took all the elevations from the Northern Spire Road analysis and used those as our tailwater conditions. So for example, on this southerly site culvert, we used 271.17 as our starting elevation for the 100-year storm. That gives us 271.62. And then we move that to the northern site culvert, the 271.62 becomes our starting water elevation. Run it through there, and that gives us 271.63. Basically a flat water condition. The reason for that is, as you can see down here where it says overtopping, we've overtopped those crossings in both cases. So what you have is, you don't have channel flow coming through there. You have basically just overland sheet flow that's overtopping all of that. Okay? That's the reason that that floodplain appears to go flat in there. So now that we've analyzed all the culverts, we take a look at, all right, the Wetlands Protection Act says a 7-inch rainfall in 24 hours. What did we actually just analyze? Well, we actually just analyzed, and StreamStats uses NOAA Atlas 14 for the rainfalls. So I took a clip of it here. Their 100-year rainfall is 8.18 inches. 50 years, 7.24, 25 years, 6.39, so that's 7 that DEP is looking for, is somewhere in between a 25 and a 50. Just to circle back to that overtopping where I said it was between the 2 and 5 year storm, 2-year storm, 3.37, 5-year storm, 4.38. So probably somewhere around 4 inches of rainfall in 24 hours is what overtopped that. The other two site culverts had roughly the same result. Somewhere in between that 2 and 5 year storm is where they overtopped as well. If you think about 4 inches of rain in 24 hours, it's a pretty good amount in an area that those culverts have probably been there for quite a while. So it passes the straight face test at this point. So then what we did is we took the precipitation, the NOAA 14 precipitation right here. That's where the 7-inch rainfall comes in between that 25 and the 50. And we just prorated our results to get it to go back to the 7-year storm. So if you, Northern Spire Road, southerly site culvert, and northerly site culvert, if you look at those 3 points of analysis, we originally said 271.17, 271.62, 271.63. If we prorate it down for a 7-inch rainfall, we end up with 271.02, 271.53, and 271.54 for those 3 points of analysis. So our recommendation back to the applicant and his team was that you call bordering land subject to flooding from the southerly culvert downstream, 271.0, like they originally had come up with. In between the southerly and the northerly culvert should be 271.5, and in between the northerly culvert and East Central Street, 271.5 as well. And it's the overview of our analysis and how we got there.
Got it.
Okay.
Thanks for putting it together in that format. That was
Yeah, if there's any
more
questions,
helpful
I'm happy to.
than reading the report, so thank you.
It looks a little better in this version than the
Yeah,
report. The report's a little dry to read, but.
Yeah.
So, you know, do you anticipate any resulting changes in stormwater management based on that?
I'll leave that up to.
Yeah, I guess that's
the
not a question
applicant.
for you. Yeah, sorry.
That's not.
Yeah, we brought in Todd specifically to really hone down on identifying the base flood elevation.
Got it.
He's really versed in that. So Carlton Quinn is online on Zoom. He's our civil engineer. He can
Right.
speak to, at a high level, what modifications we're looking at in terms of the new base flood elevation for the BLSF, Carlton.
Thanks again.
And if you can pull up a site plan, Carlton, just so the commission is able to see what area we're talking about, that would be helpful, I think.
Yep, 1 second.
So we haven't finished the design modifications. I think we'll probably get done next week, but Carlton and his team are aware of where it's going at a high level.
You able to get the, oh, there we go, okay.
Get the screen now?
Yeah,
So the two stream crossings on site that we'll be looking at with the new flood elevation is the one here, the northerly one, and then the one to the south here. So we are filling the crossing in both locations, 4 or 5 feet. So we will be doing some mitigation in here, extending this low point to provide equal or better flood storage than is currently there, as we're required to do. And we'll be doing the same here in some areas, just extending the flood elevation to 271 out a little bit and making some more room to make sure that we're meeting, the required volume that we're required to mitigate. So there will be some changes here. From this point south, we're really proposing no changes.
right,
Because nothing's changed based on the
Yeah.
flood study.
right.
The one change to the stormwater design is that there's an existing culvert here that we're proposing to keep in place. And then the ground elevation right here is about 270.5 or so. At that point, the existing ground will be putting in some proposed culverts at that elevation. So when the water ponds up to the floodplain, or the BLSF that Todd had calculated of 271.5, that the water's allowed to then pitch into the next low point and not back up the system anymore because we're putting in the stream crossing. And the same thing over here. So we're putting in some culverts right at about the floodplain elevation to allow the water to discharge as it does today and not have any effects of backing the water up any more than it is. So we'll be trying to match the existing conditions. But outside of those two things, we're not changing any other
So Carl,
items on the stormwater.
are you adding culverts to what's already there, or?
Yeah, so the existing culvert's down about 268. We're keeping that as is.
Right,
And then we're over tops of the road at about 270.5. We'll be adding some culverts
Oh, I
at
got
that
it.
elevation
yeah, a little higher, I got
to
you.
flood over
Yep,
Alongside them?
above them, right?
above them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Do you know how many you're gonna add at each location, or not yet?
I've estimated it's either 3 2x4 box culverts or 3 36-inch pipes in that
Okay.
neighborhood.
All right. That's just a flow calculation.
Got it. Oh. You got a question?
No, that was my question too, is like, given that we have existing culverts and, it seems like that you're almost reaching that elevation during the storms, that it would require a need to look at the current design on this, so I think Carlton's got it, he's already tracking that.
Yeah, when we had completed our analysis, Carlton and I had quite a few discussions back and forth. And one of the nice things that pops out of that analysis is not only does it give you those elevations, but it also gives you the amount of flow that's coming over the top in the various areas. So it really kind of makes his job a little bit easier, because now all he's got to do is design a culvert to
Accommodate that.
to accommodate that flow.
Right,
So if we're
right,
saying it's
right.
70 CFS that comes over that road,
Yeah,
do a culvert that can accommodate 70 CFS, and he won't have any further impacts on that BLSF area.
And Carlton, could you walk the commission through the other modification that we're looking at? I think it's outside of the stormwater culvert design.
Which one is that? Sorry.
Where the amenity area is on in the north?
Oh, yeah, so when we go through the BLSF calcs to match the volumes that are there currently, this area here will likely just become a mitigation area at about the floodplain elevation. So this area of amenities will most likely be removed for a grassed area that will be used for mitigation. There's no reason it can't be planted and look nice, but it'll all be brought down to kind of the 271 elevation to make sure that we have the same amount of flood volume as we currently have today.
And what's planned there now?
What's currently planned there now is a dog park and some sort of recreational court. We haven't completely solidified the program for that just yet.
Okay.
So outdoor amenities.
Okay, I mean, you think you're sticking with the dock, or?
Yes, the dock is to the south.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll look at relocating the dog park to another location, probably near that dock, or maybe on the other side to the east of the stream, and perhaps we might even do two small dog parks.
Oh, dog park. I thought you said dock park.
Oh, no, dog. Sorry.
All right, my bad. I'm like, wait a minute. All right, I got you. All right, that works. Well, that was helpful to go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, explains it.
So that solves the change that came about. You've given us the new analysis, and you're going to change the culverts to accommodate those additional flow,
Correct.
and we should be good.
Do you have any other changes anticipated coming like out of the ZBA or anything?
No, at this stage, we responded to some civil peer review comments last week or maybe the week prior. There were some minor changes that we need to still pick up in our plans. So we wrote a response letter indicating we would change the plans, but we wanted to wait until we were able to incorporate the changes that came about from the commission and from Beta's last letter before we updated the plans, so we didn't have to update twice.
Okay.
So we're planning to issue a revised plan set next week that'll incorporate all the floodplain related changes, all the changes that were brought up from the civil peer review engineer in the ZBA, and submit that plan set next week, along with the response to Beta's peer review comment letter.
Okay, as a suggestion, because there's a lot in that response letter, thought it might be productive to get a work session together, to sit down face to face, and we could have these letters going back and forth for
Yes.
quite a while, and it might be easier just to, if you guys are open and amenable to that, whoever you'd like to have, we'll have Beta there, some members of the commission.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
All right, we'll work on putting that together. The other thing is we do need to amend the scope and fee for Beta. They need to take a look at the analysis Todd just went through. So we'll put that together for you.
Okay.
But I do think a work session would be useful.
Yeah, I would agree.
Expedite some things. So that'd be great. Okay, good. Yeah, so, there's quite a bit in Beta's last response, so I think that's the best way to handle that, unless you guys have anything you wanted to talk about tonight in that regard.
No, I don't think there's anything, I think a work session's a great recommendation. We were kind of thinking along the same lines, so
Okay.
I think that sounds good to us.
Yeah, be helpful for us.
Sure. We'll plan to keep working on our responses.
Yeah.
In the meantime, and plan to submit next week, but having the work session would definitely be helpful. So if there's anything lingering out there, we can jump on it
Okay.
at the work session, so.
All right, good. Okay, we'll work on that.
Okay.
Anything else on your guys' end?
No, I don't think so. We're still coordinating with the ZBA, still working through some peer review comments related to civil. We're still waiting on a final sign-off letter from the traffic peer reviewer. So we're still coordinating with that process. I expect we granted the ZBA an extension until the end of November, because we want to make sure that both of these processes are, since we're doing them in parallel, that we get through each one kind of at the same time. So that's what we've been doing with the ZBA. but I don't think we have anything unless Chris or Carlton, you guys want to, if we're missing anything.
No.
Nothing on my end. I think, like you said, AJ, maybe we, kind of finalize our edits and responses to the latest round of beta comments, since we're, pretty close to being done there anyway. And then once that's all kind of finalized, stamped, and submitted, then we have a work session and see where we stand, hash out any last minute issues.
Okay, good.
Sure.
Good.
Yep.
All right, any other questions from the commission?
I did have a question. So
Yeah.
on the plans, since you're going to be going, with this work session, I believe the plans need to be a little bit more detailed. You have a lot of things that are not as, it's not a dark print. I didn't even know there was going to be a dog park. And as far as the dock, that's still in question as far as how is it going to be moored into the bank and into the sediment.
In regards to, happy to look at the dog park and the plans overall to make sure they're more detailed. If there's anything missing from there, I apologize. Regarding the dock, we did submit detailed plans for the dock in our previous response to Beta's comment letter. We put together some substantial detailing, very close, if not ready for construction documents for the dock. So I think we detailed everything in there.
But you're moving it, so are you going to be changing?
No, I'm sorry. That was the dog park versus dock misunderstanding.
That would be.
I must have not. I probably wasn't saying it right. I must have. Maybe I wasn't clear. Sorry about that. The dock is staying in the same location. The dog park is where we're looking at changing. The G sounds like the kid, I guess.
Because you're going to be putting that close to the bank, correct?
The dock. The dog park. We're still looking where to relocate that to. Not sure yet. It won't be along the bank though.
Okay, because you already have a parking lot next, it's just, there's a lot of, it just doesn't seem like you're trying to mitigate the impact onto the bank. Like, I think that there's a lot of room that you could be improving this by not having so much of an impact on the bank, is what I'm trying to say. I understand it's a 40B, but it would be nice if some more thought could be put into the plans to be able to mitigate that.
So in regards to the bank of the stream, like, are you talking about the dock
Stream.
specifically?
No, just the whole thing, and then you have the dog park now going next to the stream.
We haven't figured out the location for the dog park quite yet. It won't be on the bank of the stream. In terms of, Chris, could you jump in here in regards to bank impacts?
Yeah, so essentially what we're looking at for bank impacts right now, the only direct impacts to the bank, and I'll speak about this in two pieces, so bear with me for a second. The only direct impacts to the bank are really just for those stream crossings, because we have to improve them a little bit for vehicle fire access, et cetera. I think correct me if I'm wrong, you're just referring to more proximity to the bank. Essentially what we've done is kind of reused areas that are already impacted right up to the bank. So in a lot of these areas, there's, Japanese knotweed, Phragmites growing right up to the bank. In some cases, there's debris like spilling into the bank. So yes, we are working in fairly close proximity to that bank resource area, but we are, proposing improvements of the immediate vicinity right there as well, cleaning up some of that debris, managing invasive species, and actually for most of that, top third of the site, so to speak, we'll actually have a little bit more buffer between kind of the developed areas and the bank itself than we do today, just because of the existing condition out there. So I guess to kind of wrap that up, the feedback is absolutely noted. We, I think, can probably make plans clearer in some regards to address a little bit more, the difference between what's there today and what we're proposing, especially with regard to some of those areas tight into the bank.
That would be helpful, thank you.
So, I'm gonna piggyback on that one. So on key plant planting L2, GL2, so you have areas that are designated as for plantings. You have a B, a C, a D, New England Conservation Wildlife Mix, Wildflower Seed Mix. A lot of that is, close to where the banks are. So when you're taking a look at, relocating that DOG park, I guess my question would be, are you also looking to remove some of that area? And, that we already had previously looked at preserving. So that's my question there. I know it is a tight space now. It's starting to get tighter now that, so I'm not sure if relocating that, what are your options here when it comes to moving that to a place where you already have considered plantings? So just
it should be noted that we are taking it from the front away from the bank and gonna revegetate that whole area.
Yeah.
And then take it into consideration when we relocate it to make sure that, we keep it as far away as possible.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that, we haven't located it just yet, relocated it just yet, but it won't be any closer to the stream as it was already proposed.
Okay. Just looking at the different areas where you have potentially, just plantings, it's not many areas. So if you can just really look at that and see what that may look like, considering that there's already some stuff in there that we had kind of looked at already as being kept there. I do have a question, and I appreciate, thanks for basically talking through the BLSF, and really that's a lot of great information. I think what I was trying to figure out is if Northern Spy Road, there's been an indication that it's been observed that it overtopples within the calculations in here done on stream stats. Does it also it considers the stream flow at that point based on the database, but does it also consider the one that the Buncas Brook does it also consider the one that flows from east to west?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you go in the actual report that I wrote up,
Yep.
all of those runs are in there, and if you look carefully at the shading on that watershed, you can
Okay.
see that it covers all of Uncas Brook.
It covers that one
Yep.
too. Okay. And then my understanding of all this is, instead of using the 7-inch, use which is instead of using the 7-inch rainfall, you're using what was it, 8.32?
Well, in the stream stats analysis, we don't have the ability to plug in rainfall. So
Okay.
what that does is, that just takes in the NOAA Atlas 14 rainfall and runs its analysis there. So we can pick the point on the stream where we want the analysis run. We can pick the parameters that we want reported to us, but as far as the other inputs,
Yep.
we don't select those.
Okay.
So the rainfall is kind of predetermined. That's why at the very end, I went back and I talked about the statistical analysis to knock that back down just a little bit.
Yeah, you're gonna pick the time frame of the storm, right, and then you get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, the Wetlands Protection Act is pretty clear about a 7-year, 24-hour
yeah.
storm. You can probably tell that was written quite a few years ago.
Before this, yeah.
But, just to make sure that we're right on the letter of it. If you want to say the 100-year storm based on NOAA Atlas 14, given the accuracy of the overall analysis and the modeling and how that all works together, I'm not sure I would have changed. I mean, I guess I could have said 271.6 inch and a half difference in the water elevation at that point. So I think I would have had the exact same conclusion.
Okay. So for general purposes, and thanks, appreciate it, Todd. So for general, so the elevations at the top, 271.5 is recommended between the areas of the southern culvert outlet and the north culvert outlet. And then 271, I'm reading your conclusion here.
Yeah.
271 in those, basically the northern areas, and then down by Northern Spire Road is 271.
Right.
So half a foot difference is what you're looking at, elevation wise.
That's about what we were saying, yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, we go through and we look at a lot of different things for reality checks, right?
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned during my presentation, does it pass the straight face test?
Yeah.
One of the other things that we do is we look at, just on a day like today, if you go out and you look at the condition of that watershed and the condition of Uncas Brook, there's no apparent flow in there. Now, I'm sure there might be a little bit, but when you get to Northern Spire Road, it's, the water level's right at the bottom of those culverts, so there's really no discharge going through, as you can see by those photos. So it's all kind of a still water condition, which really is what the analysis is telling you, that if it's going to be 271 flat all the way up through, there's no gradient on there, so there's no flow. When you start getting up through those culverts or the restrictions, for example, coming off the wetland on the northerly side of East Central Street, that's where you start to have those rises in elevations, and that's what it reflected.
Okay.
Okay. Richard?
I'm fine.
All right.
I did a good job.
Anybody in chambers? Or online? Looks like we do have a couple hands up online. I don't know if Tyler.
Sarah had
Sarah
her
was
hand raised a
first.
little while ago, so I think she'd be the first to.
All right, Sarah Cronin, I think, am I reading that right?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, hey Sarah, how you doing?
Okay, I can't quite figure out how to turn on my camera, but I'm here.
All right.
My name is Sarah Cronin. I live at 46 Northern Spy Road. I have two questions. The first regards the soil testing that was done. I understand that the land long ago was the site of a farm, and in recent years is the site of much dumping, and I think in the evaluation it was referring to junkyard type engines and metals and things like that, as well as landscaping, material, and that's been dumped. I know that there was bore testing done on the soil, like boring down, but I was also curious to know if there's been any testing on the quality of the soil to make sure that whatever, is dug up during the process of this project, that soil has been tested to make sure it's not toxic, or if so, that something could be mitigated. So I'm hoping you could speak to that, and then I'll give my next question and then get off so you guys can respond if possible. My second question has to do with snow removal for the project. I looked at a site plan a couple of weeks ago. It certainly sounds like things have changed, so it's probably no longer current. In the site plan, it said that they're planning for to be able to plow 2 inches of snow at any one storm. And I was curious, given that this is New England, what happens when we have a snowstorm of 4 to 6 inches, and then another one right on top of that? I was curious, what would be the plan for removing greater than 2 inches of snow? Thank you. Those are my questions.
Thank you, sir.
Carlton, are you able to answer the snow removal comment now, or do you want to?
Yeah, if you could just give me a quick second to pull up the plans. So I just quickly opened the plan. We did a snow plow analysis and found that we could accommodate up to 3.1 feet of snow, 2 inches of snow. I'm not sure where that came from, but if it does get beyond what they're able to plow, the standard condition is that they need to remove the snow per Mass DEP requirements at their own cost to a dumping facility, which does happen in extraordinary years where you have multiple feet of snow, but 3.1 feet of snowfall stored on site seems adequate to me for a site like this, and we're probably gonna look at more after we've made these revisions to remove some of the humidity space.
That's great. Also, if I could add on, how about like the treatment of snow-covered surfaces, like salt and snow melt and sand and those kinds of things? Are you planning for some sort of mitigation to make sure that the material, that kind of material added to any melting snow would be protected from, obviously, the wetlands and the surrounding land?
Yeah, any snow would be caught in our stormwater system and treated just like the regular pavement for treatment. And then there's an operation of maintenance that goes along with our stormwater infrastructure, and some, it'll need to be checked, after every winter and after every, leaf fall to make sure that it's cleaned out quarterly or every other year, depending on the device. They have different, amount of time it needs to be cleaned. And that's all kind of outlined in our stormwater operation and maintenance report.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carlton.
And so that was the second question.
Sure, sorry. In regards to soil, I think I answered this question. Maybe it wasn't the Conservation Commission, perhaps it was the ZBA, but we did a Phase 1 environmental study. We submitted our findings of the Phase 1 report, the summary, to the zoning board in our comprehensive permit application. The Phase 1 was clean, no RECs, recognized environmental contaminants, so there's no need to sample or study the soils for environmental concerns, because there are none.
Where were those soils, where were they tested on site?
Sorry?
Where were the soils tested on site?
No soils were tested. We did geotechnical borings to study the soils, to program our footing footing plans.
That answer your question, Sarah? She's unmuted. Okay.
Sorry, I was having trouble unmuting. Yes, it does answer my question. I guess I would just probe a little bit deeper. It sounds like those borings were to make sure that the buildings will be supported, I guess. I would love to see some of the actual quality of the soil, but that's just my request. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Renata, I don't know if you have a comment or your hand's still up from your previous comment?
Hi, Renata Guerrero, about 38 Palomino Drive.
Yep.
I think this question is more for Chris. Chris, you mentioned that there is a Japanese knotweed on the property. I'm curious to know what is the proposed plan for the invasive species management, if there is one, or how do you deal with that? Because it is on an invasive species list of Massachusetts. And that plant is an evil plant, as you know, pretty much. So, what is done, how is it treated, how is not affecting the soil that's being excavated, or any fragments affecting streams and down the stream.
Right, yeah, absolutely. No, you're 100% correct. We have a fair bit of Japanese knotweed on the site. I'm not sure, it's relatively isolated to a couple of pockets. We do have an invasive species management plan as part of our, restoration mitigation efforts. So there's actually, there's a pretty lengthy document describing how we deal with those things. But to give you the highlights, essentially with Japanese knotweed, and this is actually, I guess, previewing some edits we've made after Beta's last letter. It's really not, unfortunately, with a site of this size and an infestation of invasive species this size, it's really not feasible to eradicate them entirely. So instead, what we're proposing is just kind of ongoing management of these things. I think for a large part, the site work, excavation, grading, etc., will largely take care of, at least big chunks of the knotweed that exists on site. Beyond that, we're proposing mostly mechanical removal of these things, and we're refining exactly what those protocols look like in order to make sure that, as you said, those fragments don't get washed downstream or dispersed elsewhere on site. So anything that happens with removal, physical removal, cutting, etc., of Japanese knotweed needs to be very carefully controlled, and that will be included in our invasive management plan. At this point, we do have some language in that invasive management plan, kind of as discretionary, if required, use of herbicide. We don't really expect that we're going to be going down that route, but you can have knotweed popping through freshly poured pavement and things like this. So it's more of a contingency plan, and herbicide being by far the most effective and, in all honesty, probably the only way to address some of these invasive species. We're leaving some latitude for the use of certain types of herbicides in certain controlled situations, but again, we do not expect that to be regular or possibly maybe not even ever.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I am aware that pretty much the glyphosate is the only way to eradicate or kind of keep it at bay. And that seemed to be the almost only method at this point. So I'm a little worried about, like, when you said that there's excavation and the mechanical removal, like what is gonna happen with the excavated parts of the Japanese knotweed, because that will affect the soil, the dumps, or wherever it's gonna go. So it should be contained somehow, and
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's all outlined in our invasive species management plan here. The idea is that any soils known to contain invasive species, obviously knotweed being one of those, needs to be disposed of properly, and that would be disposal at a dump or a certain type of facility that accepts these types of dumped materials.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thanks, Renata. Do we have anybody else? I think that was not on Zoom. No, nobody else in chamber? All right. Well, with that, back to you, Richard. Do you want to give us a motion to continue the NOI for 444 East Central to September 18th at 7:01? Since
that's the first one.
Yeah.
I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for 444 East Central Street to September 18th at 7:01 PM.
Second that?
Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
Continue?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
That was helpful. Thank you. All right. With that, we have our next public hearing is the NOI for 260 Daniel Street. I don't know if we have anybody, Jimmy's here by chance. I know Brian wasn't going to make it. I don't think so. All right. Louis, you want to give us a motion to continue the NOI for 260 Daniel Street to September 18th at 7:02?
I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for 260 Daniel Street for
September 18th. Yep.
September 18 at 7:04.
Oh, two. We knocked two of them off.
I'll second that.
All right.
Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
Continue.
Continue?
All right. That's continued. Next up, we have the ANRAD for 731 King Street. All right.
Sorry I missed last meeting, guys. I wasn't feeling that great.
All right. Hopefully you're feeling better.
Oh, yeah, a lot better. I understand At the last meeting I attended, you guys were looking for the topography, we submitted all that.
Yeah.
I think that was about it.
Yeah, so, I mean, unless you've got any, yeah, you guys satisfied all the requests we've had. We actually wrote up the orders of conditions, thought we'd read those in and vote on it unless you have something.
No, I'm
Okay,
just here for a night out.
good times. Any commission, or comments, questions from the commission? Any questions, comments from chambers? All right. So with that, we will read the order of conditions for this project. So 731 King Street, map 313, lot 43, Franklin, Massachusetts, order of resource area delineation, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and Regulations, Town of Franklin, Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Regulations, DEP file number 159-1316. List of submittals for the record: WPA Form 4A, Bordering Vegetated Wetland Determination Form, CAI Property Card, Property Deed, Local Forms, Abutter Information, Plan 3 sheets entitled Conservation ANRAD, Plan of Land dated May 5th, 2025, revised through August 14th, 2025, prepared by Colonial Engineering, Inc., stamped and signed by Anthony M. DeLarco, MAPLS number 34303, letter entitled Response to Comments dated July 25th, 2025, prepared by Colonial Engineering, Wetland Resource Areas under MGL 131S40 310 CMR 10.00 and covered under the Franklin Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Chapter 181 and associated regulations. This ORAD approves the delineation of the resource areas as drafted on the Conservation ANRAD Plan of Land dated May 5th, 2025, revised through August 14th, 2025, with a scale of 1 inch to 80 feet, incorporating revisions reflecting the Franklin Conservation Commission, Franklin Conservation Department, and Beta Group, Inc. Review comments from review comment letters from Beta Group, Inc. dated June 27th, 2025 and August 26th, 2025. Findings: bordering vegetated wetland, BVW, freshwater wetland flags number 2 through number 68 and number B1 to B34. Modified delineation. This ORAD does not approve the boundaries of bank mean annual high water, MAHW, or land underwater, LUW, associated with any on-site stream. This ORAD does not approve the intermittent or perennial status of the stream that is present interior of the BVW delineated with flags number 2 through 68. This ORAD does not approve flags number B-15 and B-17 as depicted on the plans entitled Conservation ANRAD Plan of Land due to their location being off-site. All good?
Perfect.
All right. So with that, we can, you up, Louis? No, or maybe is it Roger? Roger, you want to give us a motion? Approve
Closing?
the, yeah, you're right. We do, we'll motion to close the ANRAD, right? Public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for the ANRAD for 731 King Street.
Second,
All right.
vote to close.
Vote to close.
Vote to close.
Close.
Close?
Vote to close. Nicole, that means you get the honors to, motion to approve the ANRAD for 731 King Street with the conditions as stated.
I give a motion to approve the ANRAD for 731 King Street with the conditions as stated.
Second,
All right.
vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Approve.
Approved?
All right, we're approved.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming in. All right. Excellent. So with that, we'll move to the next public hearing, which is the NOI for Lot 2 Forge Parkway. We got them out in the hall?
They're on their way over.
Excellent.
Another one down.
You're in.
Okay.
You're up.
Sorry.
No worries.
Awesome. I thought it was 2 between us.
Oh, that's the one that was just, we just did.
All right. We ready, Mr. Chairman?
Oh, we're ready to go. Absolutely.
All right, shoot. Thank you. Excuse me, again, for the record, Rick Goodrow with United Consultants here with Brad Chaffee, the applicant for the project at Lot 2 Forge Parkway. Since the last meeting, we have received comments from both the DEP as well as Beta, and we're currently working on those. We will be before the planning board for our initial public hearing Monday evening. And as of today, we have not received peer review comments from Beta for the planning board side, stormwater, et cetera. But we did want to come in and just go over a few items and clarify some things with the commission. If I may start with the DEP letter?
That'd be great.
Okay, so their first comment was that site appears to include a riverfront area associated with an off-site unnamed perennial stream, which is not shown on the plans. So we have looked at that, which we believe actually that stream to be Mine Brook. Not labeled as such on the USGS map, but it is in fact Mine Brook. And what we've done is we've looked at the closest corner of the property to Mine Brook on Mass Mapper, and that provided a distance of about 95 feet across West Central Street. The area of work, we're about 375 feet from Mine Brook. So we wanted to just get some input from the commission if they thought it would be necessary to have the riverfront delineated and located and added to the plans. So that was just something we wanted to discuss with you this evening.
So, let's just take a look. So you said, what'd you say, 95 from the edge of the property?
Correct.
But 3 and change from?
370, if I may, I have a little.
Yeah, all right, that'd save me from, that'd be great. Thanks. Perfect.
This is the locust property, all the developments proposed back here on the southerly, planned south side of the wetland.
Yep.
And that's Mine Brook. Goes in through the Glen Farmer.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Glen Farmer, and then it crosses under the old 140, West Central Street, comes in over here. So, as I said, we're proposing all the work back in this area here. But admittedly, there would be some riverfront area on the front portion of the lot, but nothing's being proposed.
But nothing, no work being done there, okay.
Rick, is that a page in your filing that they already had?
No, we just
Okay.
made this sketch up.
Okay, if you could
can
just.
keep it.
Yeah, if you could, make sure we get a copy.
Sure.
I think John has his hand raised. He wants to weigh in.
John, you get a comment?
Yeah, good evening.
Hey, John.
I just wanted to throw in that kind of the third option that the commission could consider, which I know has been done before, and I've done it in other towns myself too, is that if you have a resource like that that's, maybe on the site, but pretty far from the proposed work, they could always scale in the location of the brook from aerials and just project the riverfront on the plan.
Yeah.
The commission doesn't feel that it needs to be necessarily flagged and field located. That would at least show that it's there and show that the proposed work's outside of the riverfront.
Yeah, we've done that before, that's a good call. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it needs to be delineated. Yeah, so.
We can show it on the existing condition.
Sure, we
Yeah, that'd be great.
We can add that.
All right,
We
thanks.
just wanted to get your input.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
comes
yeah,
from
no.
DEP. They kind of put it out to
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys, and then you guys have to handle it. We're going to make changes, we just want to have some direction.
Yeah, no, I
So I
understood.
think that's a great compromise.
Yep, I love it.
And
Thanks,
thank you,
John.
Jonathan, for suggesting it. All right, so moving on, number 2 is to do with the stormwater. We don't have a problem with making revisions to that to address that comment. And then number 3, it's kind of a 2-part thing. They talk about the necessity for a stormwater pollution prevention plan to be included. We are gonna provide one. We are proposing to disturb greater than 1 acre, about 49,000 square feet, so we will need to prepare a SWIP. And they kind of go into some things that may want to be added to that as recommended by them to the commission. We'll certainly address those, and they also kind of suggest that a copy of that be provided to you before construction, I believe is how they worded it, and we don't have a problem with that. But we just haven't got to that point yet because we're not gonna do it until we're ready to get going.
Can I ask you a question? Did DEP copy us on that, Tyler? I don't see it in the drive.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever see that, just.
All right, well, DEP said everything was good.
Well, would you guys, I mean, I appreciate you bringing it up here. Would you mind shooting us a copy of that, too?
It was sent on Wednesday, August 27th to Brad, Ted Ty, the owner, Rebecca Genro, Sarah T, Tyler,
Oh, Pulaski, okay. All right, so we've got it. We just, all right.
Rika Goodlander, and Sarah, so.
Okay.
But we can certainly make sure you
No,
get a copy.
well, we've got
of
it then. Okay,
Yeah.
no worries.
I mean, I can read the comments.
Yeah,
if
this is.
that would be helpful.
Yeah, please.
All right, number one, the site appears to include riverfront area, RA associated with an off-site unnamed perennial stream, which is not shown on the plans. RA should be shown to determine if work is proposed I guess within's not in there, but this wetland resource area. So we've talked about that. Number
Yep.
two, as shown, a portion of the subsurface infiltration system is located within 50 feet of the BVW. Infiltration BMPs are required to be set back a minimum of 50 feet from a surface water as identified in Volume 2, Chapter 2 of the Mass Stormwater Handbook, which they don't differentiate, well, they include a wetland within the definition of a surface water, not just a river, pond, stream. So that's kind of the rub. So we'll move it a couple feet to get it, 50 feet, greater than 50 feet from the BVW.
Okay.
Number three, the location of the proposed subsurface infiltration system should be restricted during construction to avoid soil compaction, which could decrease the effectiveness of the future infiltration structures. Stockpiling of materials and vehicles and equipment should be restricted from those areas. See Volume 2, Chapter 2, page 106 of the Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook, period. The commission may consider that the erosion control plan sheet and the future SWPPP be updated to include recommended measures. So we can add that language to address that comment.
Yep.
And then, so again, we don't need any guidance, we just want to kind of go through them. That's
Yeah.
why I kind of skimmed past them, but the riverfront area was one
Yeah, that was
we
good.
wanted to talk about. And then lastly, the O&M plan should be updated to include activities specific for the subsurface infiltration system. The commission may want to consider perpetual conditions for O&M activities. So we'll just buttress and make sure that all of the recommended maintenance activities in the stormwater handbook for the maintenance activities and schedule for an infiltration system
Are in the O&M
are on the
plan.
O&M. And I believe they are, but we'll just
Make sure.
go through and make sure that they are. And
Okay.
if they're not, we will add them. All right? So moving on to the beta letter,
Yep,
which I hope the commission has that.
we do have that.
Oh, darn.
They said everything was great, too.
Go home early.
It wasn't bad.
No, it's not.
So, under their administrative plan comments, they had two issues in C, comment A2 and A2A and A2B below, so I'll just get into the comments. On A1, DEP has now issued the file number, so A1 is addressed. And I
Yep.
understand when they wrote their letter, it had not been issued. The following plan elements are required. A2, A, the proposed tree line and individual tree shrubs with a diameter greater than 1 inch proposed for removal should be shown on the plans per bylaw section 7.18.1.5. It is Beta's understanding that the commission generally increases the size threshold for a tree location based on the project and therefore defers to the commission on this matter.
Yeah, we typically move that up to 3 inches.
3 inches,
yeah.
which is what
Yeah.
we've done in the past,
Yep.
just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, everybody good with that? So, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so, we'll take care of that.
Yeah, right?
It's a lot of 1 inch.
Yeah. B has to do with the assessors reference on the abutting properties, that's administrative.
Yep.
We'll take care of that. W1, and I can read them, but if you have them, I think.
Yeah, we got, yeah,
Okay.
there's some hydric soils outside the flagged area, so.
Yeah, so we've talked with Goddard Consultant about looking at those flags A20 through A22, and we were holding off to see if, in fact, we were gonna have to have them look at the riverfront area as well. So now that we have some guidance on that, we can dispatch them to take care of this, and then there's one more future item to discuss that we'll be working with them on as well.
We just talked about W2, right? So,
Yeah, W2.
Yep.
This is a 1 acre. So yes, we will be required to file a stormwater
Yep.
pollution prevention plan, and they suggest a condition within the order that requires a submission for your review and approval prior to commencement of work, which we'd be amenable to. W3, this is the other Goddard Consultant. The invasive species include bittersweet, et cetera. There's 3 that they suggested, so we talked to Goddard. They were looking at probably between 1 and 2 days to get out there and do an inventory and then come up with a
mitigation.
a plan to remove them from the site
Yep.
appropriately. So, again, we're gonna dispatch them shortly to begin that work as well. Number 3, we will add the snow storage areas for the construction phase to the plans, to make sure that they're outside of the buffer zones.
Yeah,
Number 5, they want additional information on the retaining wall. That's in process with the structural engineers, and we'll get that and provide that to the commission. Number 6, basically, we've seen this before. As a recommendation from Beta, we don't have any issues with it. It's more administrative from the commission if in fact we encounter groundwater, how we're gonna deal with it.
yeah, yeah.
So that's fine. Number 7, inlet protection should be depicted on the erosion control plan within the catch basins along Forge Parkway. We do have, so we did propose for this catch basin here to have a silt sack. I'm not sure, and I was hoping that we could have an opportunity to talk to Beta. This is a vegetated, planted center island with 2 lanes exiting the site.
Yeah.
There are 2 catch basins there, but there is a crown in the road.
Yep.
And that the road on that side of the island is pitched. So we were trying to maintain everything in the gutter line of our road to install 1 silt sack. If their suggestion was to install a second silt sack on the catch basin on the other side of the crown at the entrance, we could do that.
Isn't that a paved road there?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they like to have silt sacks down gradient from the construction
in
entrance,
case
so
you
if
get
anything's
some
tracked
runoff.
out with a
Right,
spill.
right, right.
So we agree it makes sense, and, you know, what, as I said, what we did was we proposed for one to be put in on the gutter on our side of the roadway. If in fact another one needed to be put in at the
That makes
discretion
sense.
of the
I
DPW.
wouldn't put in 2, just put in 1.
Right.
Because the damn things plug up all the time, and then you got water running down the street and into East Central. So just do 1.
Are we good? All right, good with 1.
Okay.
If there's ever a problem, we have to like, that's an easy
The
thing for us.
DPW,
Yeah, we work,
Yeah.
you know, is on top of these things. They're around frequently if there's any concern by a butter or somebody within the park. Brad will be notified pretty quickly.
If you're throwing enough dirt out on the road to cause a runoff problem,
That's a
probably
different
ought to
story. Yeah,
think about what you're doing.
we have other problems.
Yeah, we have the construction pad to help with the trucks, tires and everything, but, unfortunately, things do
You get a
happen.
little bit.
A little bit of button.
So, it's, I get the phone calls after the fact that something happened and it's been rectified. Brad's been on top of those things in the past. That was number 7. Number 8, native species on the site. So there's concern about the spacing of those plantings in vicinity of the wall. So we'll take a look at that and try and gain some extra space down there. We were just trying to minimize things and put in relatively small plants, and if they're too close to the wall, but we would hate to expand out the erosion control line to cut more vegetation, to plant more vegetation. So
Yeah.
we're trying to just, put some plantings down there to kind of revegetate up against the edge of the wall. But we will take a look at that.
Okay.
W9, that has to do with the BLSF. So as the commission, I'm sure, is aware, in July of this year, they updated the flood maps.
Yeah.
So what I believe happened was the wetland report from Goddard predated that, so the old flood map was in there. However, the plans do in fact reflect the 2025 flood line is shown bordering land subject to flooding, 100-year flood elevation 194.4 from the map dated July 8th, 2025. So I do have a copy of the updated map, and there seems to be a suggestion from Beta, which again, we were hoping to get some clarification on, that the 100-year floodplain is contained in and around the area of Mine Brook, okay, based on the coloring of the map.
Yep.
However, the cross-section of the map shows the specific elevation that we referenced, the 194.4. So what we did was we expanded out from the brook onto the site, and anything below 194.4 we showed as the limit of the bordering land subject to flooding. What Beta seems to be suggesting is that we're not technically in Zone A BLSF, that we're in the 500-year floodplain and it's non-jurisdictional. Either way, we really don't have an issue with it because we're not proposing any work within the area. It's
Yeah.
more clarifying exactly how we want to do it.
How you define it, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we can take it off, we can leave a note on the plan that makes reference to the elevation for future reference, but again, we're not proposing any work, so it's more administrative. And I don't know if, Jonathan wants to chime in on that if you prefer.
Yeah, Mark, for the commission's reference, you oftentimes have that discrepancy between, as we've seen on other projects, the published base flood elevation
Right.
as mapped by FEMA compared to how it gets mapped by on-the-ground survey. So I think it was just that discrepancy that threw us off in this case. We mainly just wanted to make sure that the applicant was aware of the updated flood map, since obviously the delineation report predated that update. So I think as long as a note's added to the plan referencing that elevation, then that's fine. And as noted by the applicant, it's administrative. There's no work proposed in the floodplain either way.
Yeah.
I think that adding the note on is
Just a
fine.
note.
Yeah, actually, you already have it done. It's all there.
Yeah, but we can elaborate on the note that in fact it's based on the mapping that we're in the 500-year floodplain.
So the 500. So, and is the 500-year still 194 or more? Is that what you were saying?
500-year doesn't appear to,
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't generally
They don't-
provide an elevation.
Yeah, okay. You mentioned it.
500, they color it.
Okay.
So what we've run in the past in areas that don't have a base flood elevation, which I know the commission just dealt with one
Yeah.
recently. Now you have to go through an engineering study to figure out
Yeah.
what that
Right.
is. The 500 years is a little different. I mean, we took a very, I think, conservative approach, saying that we think a portion of the properties in
that.
bordering land subject to flooding, and
Yeah.
we showed it accordingly.
It's in there, yeah.
So, but again, we're not working in that area, so I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, so, yeah, basically
It's
it's
just to
done.
make sure that, I don't want somebody in the future to come in and say, well, there's no floodplain on here, we're just gonna mow through this area. That's really what we were trying to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll come up with something that hopefully addresses it, and we will provide you with an updated copy of the new flood map.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so hopefully that'll address that as well. That was 9. Number 10, the applicant should submit a variance request per section 4.3.1 and 5.3 of the bylaws for the work proposed in the 25 to 50-foot buffer zone as the retaining wall, portions of the parking lot, and and portions of the stormwater management system are proposed within the 25 to 50-foot buffer zone. Beta defers to the commission on the issuance of the waiver. And then they go in to talk about an alternatives analysis and a variance request for that. I did previously, at the previous meeting, we did talk a little bit about this, and I just, when I read through section 4.1.2, I'm sorry, 4.3.1.
Point one, yeah.
Just trying to get to the right section.
25 to 50.
4.3.1 states, any applicant proposing a project within the 25 to 50-foot buffer zone resource area shall indicate that there are no structures, including but not limited to concrete, stone, or other impervious foundations and/or slabs for construction purposes. That, for all intents and purposes, would significantly increase runoff. So we went through great design to not increase the runoff. And the reason for that was so that we would not be having to address the variance request and the alternatives analysis. If the commission has a different opinion on that, based on Beta's comments, we'd certainly be willing to explore that avenue. But I just wanted to explain why, and we talked about this, we talked about the runoff, we went through the decrease in the rate and volume of runoff for the various storm events that we evaluated to comply with the stormwater regulations. So, the regulations seem to identify that the reason for the impervious surfaces and foundations, slabs, etc., are because it would generally significantly increase runoff. And we've shown that that is not the case.
Now, the 50-foot buffer zone line, it follows that wall. That's why it's got that pretty little curve in it, right?
So the 50-foot buffer zone line.
Starts right there, yeah.
Right here, a small piece of parking lot, some wall
Yeah,
here.
and then it follows.
Then it comes back in through here.
Yeah,
Kind of
follows
a
your,
little bit here.
follows your wall.
That's where it
Right.
goes.
Yeah.
Generally, so.
Yeah.
So they made a strenuous effort not to make
Not
any,
to.
keep it out of the impervious. That's why it's got that cute little curve in it.
We try.
Thank you. He didn't like the curve.
We try. There's a lot of curves when you map out a buffer
Curves
zone.
curves aren't easy to build when you're building a thing.
Yeah, it costs.
So it's really that one corner, is that?
One corner.
Well, they
The
got
back
little
corner and a
up
little bit in
there,
the
and
front, too.
But they got two little corners right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
we're,
just, we
I don't
tried.
think we need to make them apply for a variance on something like that. They tried very, very hard.
I think it'd be procedurally better to put the variance request in and approve it rather than,
Ignore it.
yeah, yeah. I think that'd be,
Okay.
yeah, I think it's pretty de minimis. I agree with you. I don't know if it's going to significantly increase runoff, but I just think procedurally, we're better off having it in there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're gonna tout the fact that we put the stormwater system in.
Right.
In the variance request, so.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not getting the vibe from the commission that there's gonna be a serious issue with it, it's more procedural.
No, I
And
mean,
that's-
I don't see
Right.
an issue.
Put
Just
it
want to
in.
make sure we
Correct.
do it right, yeah.
And that's why we're bringing it up.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
Beta
glad-
has-
glad we-
Beta
yeah.
has commented on it, we wanted to get the commission, we wanna, try and move this along and get these items addressed and not go back and forth.
Yeah, and actually, that was their suggestion, right, is to submit a variance request now. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Right. But we just wanted to explain why.
Oh, 100%, no,
we
worthwhile
did what we did.
conversation, totally.
All right, and then W11, regarding the vernal pool statement, we do have a note that there are not any potential or certified vernal poles, not pools, spelled incorrectly, I apologize, located on the site. Your regulations indicate on the site and the abutting properties. So we'll modify that note to address that. And we have looked, and there are none on the site or on any abutting properties. So,
Hey, just going back to the wall again. So I think, can you guys do a quick alternative analysis on that, the details?
yeah, so we have to do an alternatives analysis if we have to do the variance request.
Right.
That's part of that.
Right.
Yep,
Yeah,
so we would do
okay,
that.
thank you. All right, perfect.
And, we're gonna ask Audit to work with us on that as well.
Okay,
So,
thanks.
yep, no
Okay.
problem.
All right, good progress.
This is
Yeah,
great.
so, yeah, we just, wanted to get, your input on some of these
It's very
things,
helpful.
and,
Yeah, this way we're, yeah.
I think we're moving in the right
Same
direction.
Okay.
Hopefully, we can get the comments from Beta on the peer review for the planning board and advance, Monday evening's meeting.
All right. Any other questions?
That looks good.
Okay. Any questions from anybody in chambers or on Zoom? All right. Richard, I think you're back up. We'll do
We're
a,
gonna continue it?
continue the NOI for Lot 2 Forge Parkway to September 8th.
704 on September 18th.
Yeah, look, you have the
Give
time.
me a motion to continue the NOI for Lot 2 Forge Parkway to 7:04 PM on September 18th.
Second that?
Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Continue.
Continue. Thanks for coming in to talk about all that.
Thank
guys.
you.
This
No,
was
thank you, really
productive.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank you for all the help.
For your input.
All right. With that, we'll open up our final public hearing of the evening, which is the NOI for Franklin Country Club. Good evening.
Good evening. Hi, my name is Kelly Durfee Cardoza, and I'm with Avalon Consulting Group, and I'm here for the applicant, Franklin Country Club. I have with me Paul McManus, professional wetland scientist who flagged the site, Bob DeFlaminos, who is the president of Franklin Country Club, and Steve Brennan, who is the director of operations for Franklin Country Club. So we filed a notice of intent for work that's within the maintained footprint of the existing golf course for the proposed expansion of a small area at the rear of the clubhouse, modifications to the fifth tee complex, and vista pruning adjacent to the pond on the fifth hole. So I have green cards and the payment for the public notice. Do they go to you, Mr. Chairman?
Maybe you
or
give
to
those
Tyler?
to, thank you. Thank you for bringing those.
So the plan that I have here was provided to Tyler yesterday, and it's the same plans that you have for the development scheme, but just on an aerial. So my hope was that you'd be able to see the existing conditions and the proposed conditions at the same time. And the aerial is from April of 2025. So the country club is located both in Franklin and in Rentham. I'm a pointer, so this green line is the town line.
Can I ask you a quick question on that, just while you bring it? Have you guys notified Rentham as well?
Yes.
Okay.
We did notifications to the abutters, and the town of Rentham has also been notified. We're going to be filing with the Conservation Commission again next week.
Awesome, thanks, appreciate that. Just made me think of it, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, not a problem. And so the club was built in 1899, and this whole generally has not changed much since then. There have been a couple of orders that have come before this commission. One was in 1999 to move the clubhouse to its current location. It was moved a little bit further away from Uncas Brook, which is located here. And then another one in 2013, which allowed the addition of this decking here. As we were preparing that notice of intent, what we realized is that the 2013 order had been closed, but the 1999 order was not closed. So we submitted a request for a certificate of compliance, which is on your agenda later this evening. But what we tried to do is to integrate plantings that would be reflected in that closure in this notice of intent as well. So the work that we're proposing, I guess for orientation, this is, as I talk about it, this is the front of the clubhouse here. This is Route 140. There's residential properties here. The quarry is located in this area. Uncas Brook bisects the site and flows from west to east, ultimately ending up in Lake Pearl. The rear of the clubhouse here overlooks the 5th tee and overlooks Uncas Brook. And the proposal that we have is to take the cart path that currently goes underneath this decking area, move it out here, and then change these decks so that they have permanent roofs on them, and make some changes in the stairway in this area. A very small addition to the clubhouse.
Can I ask you a quick question? So you're moving, so that's current conditions, right? So you're moving the path southward there, right?
Yeah, so the current condition, unfortunately, the cart path is underneath. I can show you.
Oh, okay, that's what I was
And so
asking.
this is what we're doing, is we're moving it out.
That was why I was asking. Perfect, thanks.
So kind of the aerial in the back is the existing condition, and what we've hatched on the front is what we're proposing to do.
Got it.
So the work that's proposed is generally in this area. So the wetlands were flagged at Uncas Brook in April of 2025. And so we've taken and added, just with marker here so you can see a little bit better what the buffers are. Mean annual high water is this blue that's been hatched here. And Uncas Brook is mapped as perennial. I think you've heard from some other people here tonight that there are substantial areas where it's dry. And when Beta was on site yesterday looking at the site with us, this area here and into Rentham was also dry. But for the proposal that you have in front of you, we've assumed it has riverfront. And so these pink lines here, this is the 100-foot inner riparian line and the 200-foot outer riparian line. So that's our riverfront. There is a small area of BBW that is kind of north here on the plan. And then there's a larger area of BBW that stretches out into the maintained turf on the 5th hole. So this area is fully maintained, mowed, and irrigated on a regular basis. It's been golf course for years.
Yeah.
So what we've done is added buffer zones on here, and your bylaw has the 100-foot buffer resource area. We show the 25-foot here kind of in this red color, again in here. And then the 100-foot is in blue. I didn't show the 50 on here. It's in here. I could kind of trace it with my finger, but it's there. And then we have floodplain bordering land subject to flooding, which has been mapped here in orange and down here as well. So the work that we're proposing to do at the clubhouse in this portion here is basically in the outer riparian zone. There's a small little piece of it that's in the 100-foot buffer.
Yep.
These areas, the existing tees, you can kind of see them in the aerial. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 tees. The golf hole plays so that people stand here, they hit the ball, and the fairway would be down here on my plan. They're proposing to take this tee right here and lower it several feet, and therefore they'd be expanding it. There's a set of wooden stairs that will come out as part of that. There's an area back here that is used right now for propane storage that will be eliminated.
So you're going to excavate that tee box? Is that what they're going to do to lower it?
Yes.
Okay.
So they'll strip the sod. Well, they'll set the erosion control first. But,
Yeah.
They'll strip the sod and lower that, take those stairs out. And then there's some grading, as you can see here, along these edges. These 3 tees will be made so that they're one level instead of being multi-level, so that they'll have some more teeing space. There's an existing set of stairs here. There's an existing set of stairs here. Those will be eliminated. And this existing walk path that comes off of the tee now will be moved. It's about 7 to 10 feet as you're looking at the plan to the left, so that they will have the stairs come off the center of the new tee, which lines up with the new stairs that come off the back of the clubhouse.
Excuse me, I'm not a golfer, I don't know what a tee is.
So a tee is where you stand to hit the ball.
Okay.
No, that's perfectly
Is
fine.
it just a space? I don't.
No, so, and the theory is that, depending on where you stand to hit the ball, because the goal is to stay in the thing that's called the fairway and to get it on the round part, which is the green.
Okay.
And so, depending on how good you are, and I'm really terrible, you stand at a place that's advantageous for you to get the ball where you want it to be.
And it's just, you're talking about just a small space then for a tee?
Well, this area here.
Yeah.
So then the other thing that's important is that a good golfer, well, most golfers take a little divot when they hit and they make a mark.
Oh.
So you don't want to be behind the person who took a big divot. So you need teeing space so that multiple people can play and that the golf course can be kind of heeled back in. So that's the idea, is it gives people, so you know, if you're good, you stand in the back. If you're not so good, you stand in the front. And one of the other things that we're doing, that we're adding, and I'll just show you that now, is that we're adding a forward tee. And that's generally for ladies or seniors or children, because they don't hit as far. So if you're a golfer like me, you don't want to stand in the back. You want to kind of stand in the front because you can't get it very far. So one of the other things that we'll talk about in just a minute is that we're going to add, and this is a 500 square foot tee. It's already grass here, and we're basically just raising it about 10 inches. Do you have any other questions? Because I'm happy to answer them.
No, I just wanted to know, like, spatially what that was.
So the way the golf carts go right now is that this is, the fourth hole is over here. So they come up here and they go along this way. And one golf cart can't pass another. The pathway is too narrow. So we have two little pullouts added here and here and a little one here, so that if somebody pulls their cart over, another person can get by them, so it's efficient. And you can see those areas. And you can see that there's slight movement in where the cart path is. It's a little bit of a shadow. This one's moving a little bit that way to accommodate this grading. And the grading that's here is just simply to support the elevation of the tees, so that we don't have to have walls. We're adding some drainage into the paved areas here, and there's an infiltration, a subsurface infiltration system that's proposed here. What that will do is infiltrate and recharge water back into the ground beneath the tee. But if there's excess water and it can't be infiltrated quickly enough, there's an overflow pipe that comes here. And there's a 6-foot wide outfall at this location. So
that's all being proposed new.
that's all being proposed now.
Do you notice water flow issues there currently?
There's water that ponds in these areas here.
Okay.
Because they don't have enough drainage.
Right, okay, that's what,
And we're adding 1,351 square feet of additional impervious surface as part of this project, which is not a lot, but it's enough that we're required under the stormwater
Yeah.
regulations. So this system is then installed to meet those stormwater regulations. And
Great.
the package that you received has the stormwater report
Yep.
and all the drainage calculations. So that's the work that's proposed up in this area. And we tried to the best that they could to avoid work in any new areas. So every place we're working is golf course that they maintain on a regular basis at this point. But we do have some grading that's in your 0 to 25 zone here. And so we've submitted in the application a variance to work in that area. This has been golf course for 100 years, and we don't believe that this additional grading will have a negative impact on Uncas Brook. There'll be appropriate erosion control. It's shown here as SCB, and it's wattles and silt fence.
what are you looking to accomplish with that grading?
This grading here is just simply to support this this T area and to kind of even out the walk path. So there's an existing walk path here and two existing cart paths. This one in particular is particularly steep, so it's a big deal for people who have to walk up that, so they're trying to kind of even it out.
So it's all down gradient, right, to Uncas Brook, and you're trying to level the,
Just even it out, yes.
okay, I understand.
And similarly here, this pavement is also not in great shape. It's been here for a while. So you can see all of these areas that are this tan color, that pavement will be new. There'll be no change to the 3 existing bridges. This is a cart bridge, this is a walk bridge, and this is a cart bridge here. There's some bituminous that's been placed on this bridge, and they'll remove that and repave over this, and repave that, you know, over the town line into Rentham, and we'll be, we file a request for determination next week for that little bit of work there. So the next part of the work that we're proposing to do is that T. So this is that area. Oops. This is interesting. I broke it. Okay, thank you. So this is that same area that we were looking at. This is the T. This is that forward T that we're going to be adding.
I'm sorry, could you just go back to the grading?
Sure.
So I was looking at one of the plans you submitted. So it looks like, trying to determine where the grading's going to occur. Almost doesn't look like you're going to have a great deal of grading in there, the way this plan looks. Or how far down towards Uncas Brook do you see the grading occurring?
So,
right.
This right here is the last grading that's close to Uncas Brook, and that's within your 0 to 25 zone.
Okay. So because I'm assuming the sediment control barrier is your limit of work there that's on the plan, right?
It is. The thing that's furthest to the south is the overflow outlet.
Okay, got it. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Thank you.
No,
I was just looking
that's
at when
fine.
you were talking about it, so, okay. Thanks.
So this is that new T, and that work is actually in the outer riparian zone of Riverfront. And then if you can imagine that this is the 5th green, so you come down that fairway and here's that green. There's a pond in this direction, and that pond is called the pond on the 5th hole. And so there's a cart path that runs right through here. And so the proposal is that they would limb up these trees for vista pruning so that you'll be able to see the pond from the hole that is here, as well as the holes that are in this direction. They're almost all pine trees. There's a table here that tells you what they are. There are 2 deciduous trees in this area, but generally speaking, they're cut up now to 10 to 20 feet, and they're going to be cut up from 30 to 35 feet. But because they're pines, they have very little growth on the sides, so we believe that they'll be able to limb these up, meeting the requirements for vista cleaning. The work will be done by a licensed arborist who is familiar with the regulations. And so this table shows you exactly which trees are being pruned and the starting height. So this one is already limbed up to 15 feet, so we're going to limit up 10 feet, so it'll be limbed up to 25 feet.
Yep.
So that is the work that is proposed there. So I mentioned that the 1999 order had never been closed.
Yep.
That order included demolition of the clubhouse, relocation of the clubhouse, some work around the streams and other things. And based on aerial photos, some historic photos, research that we were able to do in the commission's files, and the as-built that we filed with this application, we believe that all that work was done. But what we know wasn't done was the plantings. The plantings were different. I'll go through it a little bit more in the next piece, but in the clubhouse area, there were plantings that were primarily arborvitaes and privet hedge, things that you might not choose, and Japanese yew, things that you might not choose now.
Yeah.
So what we've tried to do is increase the number of plantings substantially and make sure that they are all on the town's approved list.
Excellent.
So there's a detailed planting plan here for these areas. They call out what's being planted around the clubhouse, and they're all on your approved list. And then there was another piece of it, and there was a requirement for a zone, it was shown graphically on the 1999 order, for what was called herbaceous / uplands. And on those plans, the proposal was to go along Uncas Brook and take plants from along the brook and replant them at other locations. So we decided that might not be the best choice now. 1999 was a long time ago. So it's not the best choice now. So what we're proposing is that we have what we're calling shrub A here, and that's this, in this location, in this location, in this location. And herbaceous plantings here, because that's kind of in front of the T. And that we would plant these shrubs with species that are appropriate to the hydrology. So as you're closer to Uncas Brook, and there's kind of wet feet there, or it's mapped as VBW, we're gonna plant species that are appropriate there. And as you go up this slope, there'll be more upland species. The list is provided here. They're all approved, that's on your list. And we have, in the wetland area that's kind of right along the edge of the brook, we have 9 plants, highbush blueberry, arrowwood, sweet pepperbush, nannyberry, common winterberry, silky dogwood, swamp azalea, and red orchard dogwood. So they'll be chosen from that. And then as we come up the slope here, in here, and here, we'll be doing a minimum of 93 individuals. They'll be planted at 3 feet in height, 1 gallon minimum, and they are meadowsweet, lowbush blueberry, maple leaf viburnum, bearberry, sweet fern, New Jersey tea, and Northern bush honeysuckle. And the goal here will be that the shrubs will be maintained to a maximum height of 4 feet, so that you can always stand on the tee and see where you're going, essentially.
Yeah.
But it's not meant to be a garden. These are going to be planted 6 feet on center, and they will be allowed, essentially, this area will go back to nature. It will not be irrigated, nor will it be maintained. These 2 areas here are about 2,500 square feet, and they will be herbaceous plantings. And so, similarly to the shrubs, if they have wet feet, they'll be New England wetnicks. And if you go up the slope, they're a combination of New England warm season grass and New England, let me get this right, showy wildflower mix. Those will be planted at these 2 locations. These areas right now where we're talking about planting them are maintained by the golf course. There's a reasonable diversity right along the edge of the brook where they don't mow much. But as you go up the slope, it really is maintained grass. It's thin, it's wispy and fescues. From a golf perspective, it looks very nice.
Right, yeah.
It isn't what we thought was appropriate for here, based on what was asked in 1999 and what's appropriate for now. So we would propose to do those plantings as part of this process. And then the last...
Do you have the total square footage of what you're proposing to
Sure, I
plant?
think I'm going to tell you it's close to 2,500, but if I look at my notes, I can tell you exactly. 2,600.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So the other
And
requirement...
I'm sorry, just as things pop, and that's, all 2,600 of that is currently maintained as essentially grass?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
With the exception
herbaceous is
of, yeah.
2,600. The shrub areas are much larger. Let's see. Paul, can you look in there and see it? Do you know what it is? My binder's right there. I know that herbaceous, because it's a square footage planting, we actually calculated the number of shrubs, so I don't know if I put that in my notes. We'll get you that number though.
Oh, okay, thanks.
So there was also a 5-foot wide area of native grass that was required along here. In some places it exists really, really well. In some places it's not as good. So our proposal would be to let it grow up and overseed it as necessary to increase the diversity. And then there is a very small area that's 3 to 5 feet wide below the bank. And so in the old 1999 plan, the area was shown graphically over the cart path. And the cart path wasn't moved. I think it was just an error that didn't get picked up. So there's a very narrow strip of grass beside the cart path, but it doesn't make any sense to plant shrubs there because those shrubs are going to be sticking into people. So what we thought was a good choice here was what we're calling shrub B, and that is plants that tolerate and expect, wet feet, like buttonbush and steeplebush, sweetgale, water willow, and there'll be 30 along that area here, but they'll be below the bank. Right now, even below the bank, it's grass.
Yeah.
And it, this time of year it goes really thick, and there's not a lot of diversity in there. So that's the proposal in that area. There's a planting plan here that talks about how the shrubs will be planted, how the trees will be planted that are up close to the clubhouse. It's pretty standard. And then we've provided you with a construction phasing plan so that you understand what the intention is here. The first phase will be the lowering of this westerly
T-box,
T.
yep.
And so there'll be erosion control, those same wattles and silt fence around that area to isolate that. That work will be done in a short period of time, probably 2 to 3 weeks. We'll sod that, and that will be the area that they use to play golf on while the clubhouse construction is happening and while this work is happening. The next piece of work,
Do you anticipate having to store any of the excavated material on site, or are you putting it right in a dump truck and getting it out of there, or do you know? Or are you putting it somewhere else, or?
this material will probably go into the dump that's, that they have, which is outside jurisdictional areas, but any asphalt that comes off from the asphalt replacement for the cart paths, that will immediately go into trucks.
You're not storing it there in the jurisdictional area?
No, we're not storing anything.
Okay, great.
And
That was,
just to get it to be said now, for the construction, we're not keeping equipment stored overnight in the jurisdictional areas. We have a maintenance facility that's kind of located here. They fuel there. Vehicles will go in that area.
yeah, true.
So there'll be
Okay.
no refueling and no storage of equipment here.
okay.
So we'll do that one piece. The erosion control has been set. It looks a little funny because it's around the old cart paths, not the new cart paths that are shown on here. The next one that we'll do is we'll take this area right here and put a construction fence around it and bring that area to rough grade, but allow that to be material storage for the construction. This is a very tight area, so the demo that will happen for the pieces of the clubhouse, that will go into trucks and be taken right away, but materials that have to be stored, pipes, drainage, supplies for that construction will be stored in a locked fence area here during the construction phase of the clubhouse. And when the clubhouse is watertight and they don't need that anymore, that fencing will be taken out. The additional erosion control that was added will remain, but they will grade this to final grade. They'll install that drainage, and then they will go ahead and sod that as well. So we'll have almost instant stabilization after this work happens.
Yeah.
And then the third phase is cutting the cart paths in, and then taking out any of the old asphalt and installing the new cart paths per plan. They're almost all in very close to where they were before, jockeyed a little bit in one direction or the other. And that's what that will be. So there's a construction sequence and schedule that's here on the plan. It's also provided in the application that you have.
Yeah, see that.
I know that's a lot of information, and I blurted it all out, but.
No, it was good. Good.
Always well.
Always good to go through it, so thank you. Yeah, I think I asked all the questions I had while we were going through it. I don't know if anybody's got anything else.
I just had a quick question about the outflow. I missed that part when you were, is the outflow for untreated water from the overflow of the catch basin, or was it I missed that part?
So there's the collection system will go into a subsurface infiltration system here. There's storm techs, so there'll be treatment, and there'll be infiltration there. In the event that there's too much flow in here, and there's an overflow, and it doesn't infiltrate into the ground, that will be the overflow pipe.
So that's untreated stormwater?
No, it's already been treated because it will have gone through.
Oh, I thought you were, okay, I understand.
It doesn't bypass the
Yes,
system.
okay, that's what I was wondering.
Good
Thank you.
question. All right. And I see what you're saying. Okay. Richard, Louis, Roger, report?
No, I mean, it looks good. It looks like everything you're gonna disturb has already been disturbed. In other words, it's being mowed or maintained.
That's
Anyhow, so you're not
absolutely
really
true.
going into anything vegetated, uncared for, so, no, it all looks really thought out. Thank you.
I think my only comment was on the sediment control barrier, you're calling out the straw wattles, so, yeah, if we can just get those for the filter socks.
Compost, yeah, we'd prefer compost socks, if you guys are okay with that.
We can certainly change that.
Yeah,
And,
good catch.
well, it looks good, the improvements look good. I don't have any.
I'm good.
Any questions? Anybody in chambers, online? All right, well, thank you for the presentation. That was useful. And Tyler Beta's taking a look at this, right?
Yes, I think they should be prepping the scope and fee. Is that right, John?
That's correct. I was just waiting on some input from our stormwater reviewer for hours, so you should see that scope and fee by Monday morning.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Roger, I think you're up. You want to give us a motion to continue the NOI Franklin Country Club to September 18th? I think we're at 7:05, right, Richard?
7:05, right.
I'll make a motion to continue the NOI for Franklin Country Club to 9/18 at 7:05.
All right.
Second. Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Continue.
All right, thank you, guys. All right, so that concludes the public hearings. Next, we've got an MBZA for 30 Uncas Row, and I think we just had that, nope, that wasn't 30 August. Let me get my note on that. Do we have, oh, hey guys.
Yep. We do, yeah.
Excellent. We have the applicant here. Good to see you guys for coming in.
Well, thank you.
So if you could tell us who you are and give us an overview.
Bill Helsing from Land Planning,
Brian Osborne.
the applicant and owner.
All right.
As you guys may know, there's already an order of conditions on this property to elevate the house, do a septic system and
Yep.
grade. It's, probably a couple of years ago now. So house has been elevated, septic system's been put in, certified. So Brian would just like to replace the deck that was on the existing house that turned out to be rotten. So he wants to put a new deck in basically the same spot. Very minor disturbance out there.
So is the footprint of the new deck, because you're doing a two-level deck now, that replacing a one-level, but
It
is
had a
the...
two-level deck prior to.
You did?
It did, yes.
Okay. So you're basically replacing...
The second level's a little bit bigger than the original, and same as the lower deck.
Okay.
So the lower deck is the same footprint,
No, lower deck's a little bit bigger.
a little bit bigger.
Yep, and then the upper deck's also a little bit bigger than the original.
Okay. Are you using the same footers?
No, that had to get all dug up, so that's what it is for new footings.
Okay.
So we're looking about 80 square feet of permanent disturbance. for the
Okay.
footings.
And essentially pre-disturbed where the
Yeah.
yard or where
This is
the
all
other...
yard, yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry to interrupt, but go ahead if there was
Well,
more.
that's it.
Okay.
It's a pretty small project.
What was the one we took out? What was the square footage on that?
The deck itself?
Yeah.
That one was, I think it was like 24 by, I don't know if it was 12 or 14.
What's the new one gonna be?
The new one is 24 by 16.
Yeah, so, okay.
So
yeah,
the
I
new
mean-
footings would be 14 feet off the house rather than the original with 12 feet off the house, I think.
And you're partially in the 50 to 100, right, with this? That's the,
Yeah, our closest point's 36 feet away from BBW.
okay, yep, so
So-
outside of it.
24 by 16, is that gonna be the new one?
24 by 16.
Yep, will be the new one.
So that's 384 square feet. So for the proposed?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I saw 500 in here.
Is that both decks?
I just
Both
rounded up
decks
to the
same size?
application.
No, the top deck's 24 by 8.
That's
Better to be covered, you know?
okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to figure out the comparison here. It's like, oh, that's, even the numbers didn't match, so,
Well, we included the stairs too, when I counted.
okay. So we go from. So we go from. So I'm just gonna say 12.
You put concrete footings or?
Correct.
What,
So we do-
So we're just putting concrete footings and putting a deck up, it's a two-level deck.
Yeah, the second floor deck won't have stairs coming down.
No.
It's just only access from the
Access from
bedroom
up.
upstairs, correct?
Did you have total square footage?
So it's 280, the piece, like, the existing one you said it was like 24 by 12.
Yeah.
So it's 288. And then the 24 by 16 is 304.
Okay, so
But the
It's 4 feet
application is,
bigger.
we're well,
12
I was
to
trying to
14, 16.
figure out where that number came from.
we're well under 1,000. That was my
Yeah.
guess. Okay, okay.
Just trying to get the math right here.
I mean, I'm good.
I'm good.
You good, Louis? Or questions?
I just didn't see any submissions, like, usually when applicants come over, they'll give us like a plan or something, you know, as far as like, yeah, just like the deck plans, how it
There
looks
was a
like.
plan included.
There should
Maybe,
be,
maybe in
copy of
the
it.
file itself, not broken apart.
Yeah,
I didn't bring a
That
copy of
one,
it.
yeah, okay, yeah, I saw that. I didn't know if you had like an elevation on that, because it had, but and I was just trying to figure out the 500 as well, just to see what, but I didn't really see what the one that you took out was already, so I'm just trying to do the comparison here.
That should be on the existing,
Yeah, it was on the original plan.
On the
We didn't show it
original
on the new plan because
Okay.
it's not there.
it was
Yeah.
on the original plan from
Okay.
the original,
All right, so I had to go look
project.
back years, okay,
Yeah.
so, before my time. Okay, well, guess that's it.
All right. Roger, you're up.
No, just do it.
Or did you just? All right, Nicole, you're up.
You could pull Roger and say you'd already done it.
I think he skipped me, but I'm gonna.
So, it's approved.
Motion to approve the MBZA for 30 Uncas Brook Road.
Motion to approve the NPCA for the 30 Angus Brook Road.
Exactly.
Vote to approve.
Well, second it. I'll second that. All right, you vote to.
Oh, I thought you were-
All right, I did. All right, you're
Vote
good.
to approve.
Vote to approve.
Approve?
Approve.
Approve.
All set. Thanks for coming in to talk it through, guys. Appreciate it. All right, we're done with MBZA's. We got the COC. We got the Franklin Country Club people. Wow, good to see you guys again.
But it's efficient this way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Beta did go out and take a look at this, and the recommendation was probably to close this one out and condition it as we move forward with the new project. So, but at any rate, love to hear what you have to say. One question for you, and I meant to ask it when you're talking about the new planning plan. Is there any of the plantings that you can start pre-construction, or is everything going to be planted in areas that are going to be disturbed as part of the project?
We could overseed, well, we've been letting the 5-foot zone
Yeah.
grow now, and Paul's been looking at it, and actually, the diversity is way better than we had anticipated.
That strip along the brook
Yeah, along the brook, yeah.
is coming in well. I mean, there's a lot of soft brush, there's several different kinds of sedges, there's some Joe Pye weed that started to pop up. So that part we're pretty pleased actually what Mother Nature is doing really to get to the end point there. Excuse me.
The rest of it is gonna be graded, so you can't really plant where you're gonna grade until
a lot
that's
of it is,
done.
yeah. So, okay, got it, yeah.
But the native grass in the areas that are really close to the brook certainly can be done. And that shrub B could be done, because there's not gonna be any work in that area. That's the one that's below the bank, the small area.
Yeah, yeah.
So we could do that as well. That could be done early.
All right, that'd be great. All right.
I looked up numbers for you. They're actually in the package, but I just didn't have them in my notes. So the woody shrub area that I'm calling shrub A is 3,342 square feet. The herbaceous area is 2,624 square feet, so.
Okay, thank you.
I was off by 24 square feet before, but.
pretty good.
So basically, this is the existing conditions plan. These are those areas that we had talked about, these are just graphically taken straight from the 1999 plan. We didn't talk about a very small area. So see this 5-foot native grass strip here?
Mm-hmm.
Once Paul went out and flagged this, we realized that BVW extends here, basically into the area where the turf is, because it's really flat. Here, there's some slope, so the BVW doesn't extend much past mean annual high water. So the old 1999 order said, put that 5-foot strip here. We think it's much better served to be on the other side, which is where the BVW is.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Again, the order was 159644, issued on July 29th of 1999. It allowed for the demolition and removal of the existing clubhouse, construction of the new clubhouse, restoration of the stream channel, and restoration of vegetative community along Locust Brook. We did that file review. There were 35 shrubs proposed, Japanese yews, arborvitaes, and privet hedge. So currently what we now have is 184 clubhouse area shrubs, all that are off of your list. And then the plantings that we had talked about here are the same as the ones I just mentioned, but if for the record you want me to go through them, I'm happy to do it.
No.
You already did it.
Yeah,
Well, I feel like I already did it, but it's up to you.
no.
So where, we gave you an existing conditions plan,
Yeah.
that the surveyor completed.
I mean, I think procedurally, we're good to just close this out and move, worry about it as part
He's
of.
given us a whole complete list of plannings to make up for the shortcomings of the 1999.
And they didn't pull anything out of the bank of Uncas Brook and plant it somewhere else.
So, seems like.
Had a lot of Uncas Brook there.
Cracks me up, man. All right, so, I mean, is there anything else you,
No, as long as, Beta saw it.
yeah, they went out.
Tyler Drew was there yesterday with us, and kind of looked at it.
So I think we'll just approve the COC. So Richard, you want to give us a motion to approve the certificate of compliance for Franklin Country Club SE 159664?
I'd love to.
Oh, I knew it.
I'll give you a motion to approve the certificate of compliance for Franklin Country Club SE 159-664.
Second that?
Okay, vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Vote to approve?
Approve.
Approve?
All right, great. Thanks, and look
Thank you.
forward to working with you on the rest of it.
Yeah.
All right, next is 25 Forge Parkway.
You have Brian Jones online.
Hey, Brian.
So I am with Allen Major Associates.
Anything on this? Oh, here? Yeah, okay. There you go.
All right, these are the new pictures, right? This is, we're essentially waiting for the revegetation to take. So these were updated pictures.
Yep.
So that's what we're,
So it's whether we feel the, thank you, whether the growth is enough to go ahead and close out the COC. I mean, it looks like they did hydro seed it, right? So you've got some growth there.
Yeah.
And these photos were taken last week, so I've had a little more growth since then.
Yeah, and it hadn't been much robust rainfall either, so you're getting growth.
No, it's been a tough time.
Yeah, so, you guys good?
yeah.
Okay. All right, Louis, you're up.
I'll give you a motion to close out the COC for, is it 25 Forge Parkway?
Second that?
Vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Vote to approve?
Approve.
Approve?
All right. Thanks for coming in. We'll close
Thank
out
you.
the COC for you. Thanks for taking the pictures.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we are on to 839 Upper Union Street. And I think, oh, do we have somebody here from?
I think Matt Clark is here for this.
Hi there, this is Alyssa Alvarado for 84 Populatic Street.
We got one more before we get to you, Alyssa. We're almost there.
Oh, okay. My agenda showed me first, sorry.
Unless nobody's here from Upper Union.
We have Matt Clark, I believe.
Yeah, Matt Clark on from Upper Union.
Oh, hey, Matt, how you doing?
Doing well, you?
Good. So what do you got for us?
Yeah, so we filed for a certificate of compliance. I think we were on the previous meeting, and there was some concerns from Beta about
Yes.
the over the property line with some concrete or something.
There we go, yeah.
We were unsure as to what the concern was, so.
I think we had pictures there. You can see the chunk. Can you see that online? Chunks of concrete in there.
I see, yep. Yeah, so I think I provided an aerial to our engineer as well as the, maybe Tyler got a copy of it as well regarding the pre-existing conditions at the site. So we acquired this site when it was somewhat in process of development, and the adjacent parcel, which originally was part of this parcel, looks like they had some solid waste and gravel and stuff deposited in and around the wetland area. So I think what you're seeing is residuals from that. All of our work was conducted outside of the silt fence, which you're seeing there. I'm not sure if you have a copy of those, the aerials from previous to our work.
Would you have it up to be able to share? I don't think I have it up here and what's like readily available.
So can you go back to the previous photo, Tyler? So that strip, the bottom, that's the silt fence, you're saying?
That's the silt fence, yeah.
And your limit of work is towards us relative.
That's right.
So that's outside your limit of work.
Yeah, if you can't see it in this photo, but there's also like concrete pipe and manholes back there that aren't even on our property, but nonetheless, they're remnants of the previous developer's work that predated our ownership of the site.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I could.
So we got the debris. Okay.
Yeah, Mark, this is John. I think barring that topic, if I remember correctly, based on our notes, everything else should be buttoned up and good to go at the site.
Okay, yeah, we had a couple, looks like we had a couple plants that died that, or were dying. I don't know if you got any opportunity to replace those?
Yeah, the landscaper's actively working on, once the weather settles down here, upgrading some of the planting, so it's a work in progress, but I think we established the initial required plantings, and it's an ongoing maintenance issue at this point, I think.
Okay. All right, so the concrete's not yours, plants have been, or the planting refurbishment's underway, so, okay. So I think we're good unless.
Yeah, John says it's all right, so.
Yeah. Louis, is it you?
Yes, no, I'll do it again. I'll do it.
Pretty sure it's me.
Pretty sure it's you. Look at it, he's dead.
All right, Roger, give us the
Take away
8:30.
that.
Try to keep track.
I'll make a motion to approve the CLC for 839 Upper Union Street.
Vote to.
Second that, all right, there you go.
Vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Great, thank you.
Vote to approve.
Approve.
All right, you're all set. Thanks for coming in and talking it through. I know it's late, you sat through a lot, but we appreciate it.
No problem, thank you again.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Now we've got 84 Populatic.
All right, I'm ready. Sorry about that.
And thank you for doing more pictures, and I know we had some from Beta out there, and things are actually looking pretty good, right?
Yeah, I'm very excited about the growth, and we had someone from another company too that we're looking to do more work with and get more plantings. And actually, when they came out, we were talking about all the potential plantings and everything to kind of, sorry, something just popped up on my thing. I'm staying as an attendee, or do I join as a pen?
If you had anything to share your screen for, that would be the panelist option. You don't need it otherwise.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, sorry.
I think it, yeah, go ahead.
So, well, I was just saying, the plantings that we're looking forward to doing, to kind of stabilize more of the slope, and keep the natives growing, and to get rid of some of the poison ivy and the invasives that are there, rather than me just hand picking it all for now.
So I think at this point, we're good to go.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Nicole?
Yeah, that's what it looked like 2 years ago, and then this.
Yeah, nice job, right? Thank you for putting the time and effort into this.
Yeah, lots of watering outside those peak hours and hoping for rain.
Yeah, right? But, nice job.
Okay.
Nicole, you want to give us the motion?
I give you a motion to approve the COC for 84 Populatic Street.
Second.
All right.
Vote to approve.
Approve?
Vote to approve?
Approve.
Approve.
All right, thanks for all the hard work.
Great, thank you all. Have a great night.
You too, bye-bye. All right, so we've got the minutes from August 21st. Any
Don't
comments?
think we received.
Oh, we don't have them. Never mind, they weren't in there.
It was a lengthy meeting, so.
Yep,
that's probably
yep.
some more time.
So we've got some discussion points, right? Actually, was anybody here from Louise Drive? I think I saw.
Yeah.
He was
yeah,
thinking,
Kevin.
oh, hey, how are you?
Good. Patience.
Our engineer should be online.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting him moved to panelists now.
Thank you for being so patient. Long night. Actually, I think we're gonna,
Skip that for now.
well, I think we're gonna do that as a discussion, because we gotta,
That's fine.
we gotta write it up. So it'll kind of be both. But good catch. We probably could have done it in that order.
That's
but-
all right. They've been here long enough.
Yeah.
Kevin, are you able to hear us and all set? Just want to.
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Hi, Kevin Demers from Deprete Engineering. Basically, we want to update just on the progress we had thus far. I heard from Tyler earlier that unfortunately Beta hasn't had a chance to review our plan updates as of yet. But just as a rehash, I can share my screen. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, just as a rehash, we had, I believe it was the second hearing in July we last attended. We'd had a row of mitigation plantings, and after review with the commission, it was decided it would be best to bring some plantings also on the face of the slopes leading down from the pond, although, we need to keep the bottoms of the pond more or less seeded and unobstructed as far as to allow stormwater flow. So in the intervening time, we have since proposed some new, these are the darker trees you see are the proposed trees, which we've added some along the slopes, down gradient of the detention basin, not just next to the swale along the property line. So we've added some of the white pines in there as well. I believe we're at 53 trees currently as far as quantity. And there were a few other modifications we made to the plans just to address some other orders of conditions, which were we mapped all existing vegetation that was over 3 inches in diameter, and that's in the form of these lighter trees shown throughout the site. So we had mapped all this vegetation in accordance with the condition. And also, in addition to that, we have added a modified detail to the pond access path. We've removed the plastic, surfacing that we had originally had just due to concerns with PFAS. So we now have just a gravel borrow path surface now, without the top layer of grid. So we show that as well, and then in addition, we've updated the bank areas, which was another aspect to the order of conditions, permanent access impact to land underwater, and we show some bank impacts here on the sectional figure for the river crossing. So we have several different plan updates we made, and I know that Beta hasn't finished their review. So what I may suggest for in advance of the next hearing is that next week we'll submit just a summary letter saying we've done met conditions, this in this, just so we can check off the boxes and proceed. We're gearing up for a pre-construction meeting, which we'd like to set up in the near future, obviously, to get going on the work. And just as another an aside for update on the site, we have flagged, staked the limit of disturbance in the field as well as the center line of road. So that's all set for review and for the contractor to begin setting the soil erosion controls and emergency fence, snow fence as we established during the initial hearing. So that's basically an update from my end, and I welcome any questions, comments, or if the procedure to submit a letter in advance of the next hearing sounds appropriate.
Yeah, I think you did a good job addressing the comments, so thank you. And yeah, if you could, if we can get that by next Thursday, if that's a possibility, that would really be helpful.
So what's next?
Okay.
So Beta's going to check off on it. He's going to give us a summary and.
And then we would vote to whether.
Yeah, because it's a COC, right? So yeah, potential.
What's a COC?
Or it's adherence to the order of conditions for this plan. I don't recall off the top of my head what condition number it was.
159, 113. Yeah, so yeah, we're just making sure we dot all the i's, cross all the
Next
t's.
time we could. If
Potentially, yeah.
information's correct, we could vote to approve the
Yeah.
COC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
We do
okay.
have John online if there was anything I wanted to cover right now.
Yeah, I think they'll take a look at it and we'll get feedback and get that summary letter, and I think that'll be good.
Yeah, Mark, this is John, that letter would be very helpful. Just a reminder to the commission, the purpose of this exercise is basically some requirements that the applicant has to address as part of their order before they go to construction. So if they can submit that letter, make sure everything is addressed, we can take a look and then get the pre-con scheduled and get them breaking ground.
Yeah, that's right. This isn't a COC. This is prior. Yeah, that's right. Order of conditions.
Correct.
Thanks, John. That's right. Okay. Got it. Yeah, so yeah, if you could get us that summary letter, that'd be great. And then we'll, work on getting that approval to you so you can get the pre-con meeting done. Got it. Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for coming in, taking the time to go through it with us.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments
See you
or
in 2 weeks.
questions you guys have? All right, close. Okay. Thanks.
Excuse me, will we be on the next meeting so that you can finish this discussion and give us permission to move forward with this thing?
So that's the goal, as long as our peer review agency agrees that this meets all of the standards, then yeah, that will be the goal, is at the next meeting. If we all concur that the standards have been met, then we potentially would be looking at approval to go ahead and get the construction going, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. With regards to the next meeting, are you going to continue this so that we have, in 2 weeks, maybe we can get this completed, so we can get our pre-construction meeting?
So I think I understand what you're asking, I'll try and answer it. So it's not a public hearing on this particular matter, so it doesn't need to be continued. This was a discussion to make sure we were all on the same page so we could accomplish what you're talking about at our next meeting. So it doesn't procedurally need to be continued, but we all seem aligned at a top-line level. We just got to make sure that we get sign-off from all the appropriate parties. We'll get that done over the next 2 weeks. If we can get a summary letter in a week from today is our deadline for consideration for the meeting on the 18th. So if we can get that summary letter by next Thursday, we should be good to go, assuming that everything looks straight, if that's what you're asking.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we'd love to see it move along for you. Okay. Thank you. All right. Results of site visits. Did we have anything else, John? I think.
No, so the site visits this time around was limited to, those COC requests that were
Yep.
already discussed.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Oh, we did
There's
actually have
nothing.
Anna's 2 for 3 Miller Street and 670 King Street. They are on the other side of the page that you guys may have for the. She did those.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay.
Oh, sorry, there were a couple that Anna did the previous week, but forgot it's been 2 weeks. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions on those.
Miller Street seemed to say, she said, consider giving emergency approval and having the home on file and after the fact RDA and require stumps to be left on place.
All right, so we got trees in the 100-foot river front area and 25-foot no disturb. So to limb the tree, a crane would need a position. Okay, so.
Yeah, I think the takeaways from these is for 3 Miller. Technically, the applicant would need to file an RDA, but they seem pretty concerned about the severity of the condition of the tree and what would happen if it did start dropping more limbs and actually fell. So what we note is the commission could consider giving him, emergency approval, and then having him file an after the fact RDA to document it.
I think we're good with that.
This is 3 Miller, right?
Yeah.
Weren't those trees already removed?
You might be thinking of 3 Natalie or a different 3. I don't know about 3 Miller Street. No, this is.
The first house on Miller off of Pleasant Street had a crane there this week. One of the police detail.
Maybe they went ahead and did it. I don't know. We were out there 2 weeks ago, so.
I think
not
those
sure
trees,
what since
my
then.
guess would be those trees are gone.
Okay.
It looks like it's. So there's a house on the corner of Miller Street, and then there's 3 Miller Street. I mean, the one on the corner, that's a different.
One of the
So
corners on Pleasant, they removed trees there. And then I think almost the next day, Sharon, I think was the company, had a crane on Miller Street removing trees.
Yeah, Tyler, you might want to check in with the homeowner.
Okay. Yeah, see if there's a miscommunication there.
Tell her she needs to file an after the fact
RDA. Okay.
Please.
And then for
760
670 King Street, that was one where, it will probably exceed that 1,000-foot threshold for the minor buffer zone activity. So they would need to either do an NOI or an RDA, and based on, the earthwork that goes into digging out the foundation, pouring it, constructing the garage, they might just want to file the NOI to be safe.
Yeah, I think we looked at GIS for this one too. I think we'd recommend a NOI for this as well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there'll be work, you know, probably within 50 feet of the wetland,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. So Tyler, you'll check with Reed Miller, see if they've taken down the trees, if so.
RDA, but after the fact, yeah.
Yeah, after the fact, RDA and 670 King were recommending a NOI, so, okay. All right. Nicholas Prospect Street culvert, actually, I think we got the, that was the DPW deal. I think we actually might have gotten it from Derek this evening.
If we have, I have not seen it yet. I did not see it time
Oh,
of
here we go.
office
Let's
close
see.
today.
Here's what he says. Oh, no, not yet. So, he's still working on it. He has been communicative. That was,
Was this what, the town of Franklin?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, just kind of FYI on that. The Norfolk County mosquito control, so this is just if you guys have any comments, there's a drainage ditch along part of the parking lot at Gorelick Farms. It's gotten filled with muck and breeding mosquitoes, so they want to clean it out. There's no when I looked at GIS, there's no wetlands on property, but there are some downstream of this thing, so DEP's comments were what is causing the silt to build up to begin with, and how might you be able to prevent that. My comment was, if you're going to clean it out, that's great, but let's have some erosion to make sure the stuff doesn't flow. You know, the thing goes down underground and it doesn't show where it goes from there, but you know, logic has it that this is where the water's ending up. So I don't know if you guys can think of anything else that we would comment on.
Just throw a couple sandbags in there to stop it from going.
Yeah, right, exactly. So that was that. New commissioner, if you guys have got your ballots here, just put, this was more complex than it needed to be because we only have 2 this time. So you can just put an X or circle the name of the person you want. We're gonna give them to Tyler.
Probably be consistent with your symbology, so that way I'm not trying to decipher each person's.
So put.
I think it was kind of a one for the more,
We got a lot of choices here. What do we,
So you got Matthew Stoltz or Jennifer Anderson Sweeney. So put an X next to your name in the box in the column under the person you want to vote for. And then we'll turn it into Tyler, and he will tabulate the results, and we'll have our new commissioner.
Mark, just a heads up, I'm signing off. if you
Oh,
guys
thank
are
you,
all-
John. Hey, appreciate it. Thanks for coming
Have a good
tonight.
night.
Yeah, see
No
you later.
worries. Have a good weekend, bye.
So we're just filling out up here, not this file?
Yeah. This,
Okay.
yeah, this was when we had.
where? I'm confused.
The table.
All you want is the next, right?
Yeah, just an X, that top row, an X under Matthew or Jennifer's name next to your name. And we'll give them to Tyler.
So, there's 2. There's this person.
Yeah, there's 2.
So you just,
So just use the top chart, the
Just
bottom
use
one is
the-
the one I'll
Yeah.
do the math
What
on.
if I did both of them?
Might lead to some.
what do you mean you're
Have to have Nancy Denello.
We just
investigate.
circled.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you circling?
X under
I don't
the,
know if you did a circle, it might not work.
all right.
So I should
Go.
go this person.
I think you'll be able to figure out who will vote.
Yep.
Oh, this is, I don't know what. This is-
Why don't we give that to Tyler and
Give
we'll
that to Tyler.
scan it
You
into
can
the.
have that.
So the final piece we had was writing up an enforcement order for 8 Bogostell Brook. Seeing as it's 10 o'clock, I'm wondering if we vote to push that to our next meeting. But I'm willing to go through it if you guys want. It's been a-
This is the guy that's been missing notice anyhow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, well.
Think it was a 305
actually,
union.
Yeah, maybe in the way of an update, you know, one thing Michael called out, which is good, is right, so A, we gotta decide, if we're gonna agree to let him leave any of the work, right? And then if so, that would need to be permitted by an after-the-fact NOI. But it's likely that we'd want to have him unwind some of the stuff he did, right? And that's what we need to decide and write out. So, you know, what we considered was, and maybe we do this quickly, is, you know, peeling back all of the areas he mulched, down to what Bricolage suggested was you could leave a 1/4 inch of mulch and seed over that, but you need to reseed everything you mulched. He's got a path he's kind of put back through brush into the wetlands that he's disposing of yard waste into. So he'd need to remove the yard waste from the wetlands, shut down the path, and revegetate the path. And I think those.
Yeah, and I think, you know, how far into his property, not to the wetlands, but into the property, he actually, like, that was part of the, was delineated. So, I mean, you know, I guess really to start, yeah, you know, not continue any further development of what he's doing, especially coming, you know, we're heading to fall. If he's got any
That's a
plans,
good point.
we really need to kind of ensure that he doesn't continue doing anything within the wetlands or the buffers. So, yeah, I think that's, I
I guess we
would
could
say a start.
write all that up and
So-
we can approve to send it out.
And, yeah.
And then he'll tell us too.
Well, so the suggestion from what's that?
No, I was just talking to Richard.
Yeah, so the suggestion from Bricolage, right, I'll end up having to talk to this guy, right? So we give him, say, 2 months to file the NOI, 3 months to comply with the enforcement order. And then, as we discussed last time, that if he doesn't, that enforcement order will be attached to the deed and the title of his house, and we'll be able to sell it. He also is in potential for getting fined, not only by the town, but by DEP, because he's in a wetland. He's done stuff in a wetland.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Will the DEP actually, if we give him enough, come down on him?
Yeah, yeah. He's really in a bad spot. So it's kind of one of those deals where, I mean, the guy's not going to want to play ball, but if he doesn't, there's some pretty stout weight
Good.
coming his way.
All right.
So, you know, I hate to do it that way, but unfortunately, that's probably going to have to be the explanation of the guy, because he's going to lose his marbles over this stuff, right?
Yeah,
But
he's not gonna have anything good to say.
no, but, you know, and I get it, but the guy's really done a bad thing here. So, I mean, do you think there's anything else we need to put in there, Louis? I'm asking, Louis went and looked at it, so he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went through with data, and, I mean, there's definitely, you can see significant activity there. So on top of, when we first brought forward to the commission, you know, that was just a picture of it. And then having gone to the site, actually looking to the backside, you know, I think really, I was only kind of maybe just looking at where the mulch was, the mulch areas, and then you get further in and you start seeing that there's actually further stuff, activity into the wetlands. So I think we just need to really notify this, that, you know, first of all, they need to stop any activity going in there. And then, you know, just try to, you know, remediate, so.
All right, so stop activity, remove mulch down to 1/4 inch, revegetate, right? I guess we are gonna get this done, this is great. Might as well, no. Remove yard debris, right? From resources. And revegetate path into wetlands, right?
For,
He does know there's wetlands there.
Oh, he does, yeah.
there is a sign, so if you're facing this house, there's a big stand, well, it's visible, it's a sign, it's a,
Yeah.
conservation land, frankly, yeah, I wouldn't even go as far as like, I guess we have some extra, what do you call it, the wetland indicator, the placards, we just did one for,
Just use them to target,
wow,
I mean, every day this guy drives into his driveway, he goes by a sign that says conservation land.
Conservation land.
It's
I mean,
just saying,
it's- It's right there. And it's interesting because I drive around and I don't really see too many of those.
No.
It's clear.
Yeah.
I've only seen one, and I had to stop and walk out of the forest. I said, I'll be damned, look, there's a sign that says.
Yeah. Outside, like if you go to some of the conservation areas, but like on, actual residential areas.
Yeah.
Like I think the first one I actually seen was the one on Paddock Lane, that they actually had one in there. I was like, oh, well, there are some signs.
After you talk to them about them, there's actually one on Oxford Drive too.
Okay.
Yeah, you start seeing them once you start talking about it,
Wow.
right? I've
Up
noticed
here,
them too, yeah. It's kind of
That must
funny.
have been installed overnight. No, it's been.
All right, so we also pulled some old enforcement orders, so I'll take a swing at it, Tyler. All right, if everybody's good with those being the main elements, and, okay, that's good, so we did accomplish
Yeah.
our agenda.
Okay, I just want to.
Before we close,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we still have this to
Oh,
address side
wait,
of the
we
town.
get-
Oh. did
Not
you
not
tally
trying
it
to
up?
call you out, Louis. Did you circle your selection rather than on your line? I just want to make sure I understood your selection. Everyone else put their mark on their line. Not trying to call you out. I just want to make sure I understand yours.
I circled my selection.
Okay.
Not to call me out, but.
I'm gonna tell you how,
Right under the bus.
his initials on
Oh, man, oh,
And
man.
it's recorded, so, for,
All right,
for my-
Richard, on the CPA that you're now on,
Wait.
Yeah,
That's,
don't they have funds that could help pay for the bridge that we want to replace?
I don't know, the next meeting,
so,
meeting is in October.
So I do have an update on that. So Regal Eye's suggestion was that we can use wetlands funds, and that for safety's sake and insurance sake, we do it professionally.
Yeah.
So she was gonna see if it needs to go out to bid through the town.
Oh,
So,
geez.
I
We're
mean,
really making a production.
well, it's one of those things, right? You just gotta.
I want to make sure it's right.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
documented.
So she's investigating that.
Okay.
I meant to bring that up.
Yeah,
so thank
okay.
you.
And
I was
days
thinking
when
of
you can just go
CPA.
down with a couple guys and throw some wood across it, is long gone.
So, yeah,
I went to Daisy, Daisy's, the disc golf area, so I walked around there
Yeah.
and, last weekend, and, they have some of these, bridges, they're nicely built, they pass over streams, so, I don't know, whoever's doing that, whoever, was hired to do that, maybe that's who they have to
Could
look
be.
into. So I took some pictures.
So you guys familiar with Birchwald Farm in Rentham? Little hiking place, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
hiking back there, and I swear to goodness, I come across this bridge. It's like two big logs with some sticks hammered in it.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
Hey, what do you need, huh?
I'm like, man, we're getting ready to put it out to bid, and somebody's out there whittling this bridge.
I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube. It was like, once we had that discussion, it was like, how do you build, and there's plenty of YouTube videos, and there's different
Oh, yeah.
methods. And there was one video was like using 2 utility poles and just, so
I
it was
did
like,
that, as a kid, I did it with my neighbor, he had 3 utility poles.
Yeah.
And we mixed cement after they were laid down and filled in the,
In the,
and make it even.
yeah, right. Work.
Yeah. We're not being recorded now.
So our new commissioner will be Matthew Stoltz. So
Good.
we'll submit him to the town council. Congratulations. And I guess Tyler, I'll let them both know, huh? So, yeah, so that's good. We got that done too.
It's not even 11.
No.
But it was,
well, we could,
But we
we got a
did
lot
get-
of done. We got a
What
lot
about
done.
the farmer's market?
Then there's that.
So,
Have
last,
you submitted the date yet?
I don't know.
What, for the last
I
one?
didn't know how to, huh?
What was the question?
When,
Is there a date been picked yet?
Oh. I think the last day of the farmer's market's on October, the first week of October.
Yeah, I think somewhere in October.
Oh.
I think
My
last
wife and
week.
kids tell me about it, because it's,
You can Google it.
that's the last time they're gonna be able to get their bread and
Probably.
So good. Oh,
man.
The 24th maybe is the last one?
Yeah, is it?
October?
Yeah.
24th?
I don't know.
Just before my birthday.
wow.
Yeah, that's still,
No, I don't look forward to it anymore.
Yeah, right.
24th.
Yeah.
is it 24, okay.
I started thinking about it the other day, and I said, well, you know, and I thought, well, maybe 10 more years I'll be Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Oh,
I always figured like 21 was the last birthday you looked forward to, right? After
Yeah.
that, it's all a
Yeah,
slide.
for that.
yeah. They scare me
Tend to
anymore. I
forget
said,
all
holy
of
mackerel.
so
Yeah.
do we have to go through you, Roger, or?
Well, if you're gonna have somebody there, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I can do it, I didn't know, I don't know what the process is.
I don't think it's fair that, when I was in the ag, we built that pollinator garden, and it ended up being myself and one other person, and then it came time to weed it, and then there was me. And so what I'm trying to say is, we're a board of
7.
7. I don't think it's fair to have one person do it. That's just my opinion.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. So, and that's, I
And it's
would,
hard because some of his work, I understand.
I will say that I think that's how it kind of fell apart last time, because we did it for, I don't know, I guess a season, right? And what we typically do is split it. Someone would take the early shift, because 2 to 6, I
Yeah,
think.
remember, that's what you, I think you were about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
split a bunch of shifts with Michael and Megan.
Yeah,
But it's a commitment. So, I think, at this point, we're talking about, I think, maybe doing one meeting this year, or one market.
That's what, yeah.
And I don't think we want to have you do that all by yourself. And I got the stuff, I could at least help set up. If we're thinking the
Well, if
24th.
we're gonna do just 1 or 2, yeah, I
Well,
gotta talk.
I would think at this time of the year,
Let's,
aim for one.
that's
Yeah,
what
one.
I agree with you.
Let's start out small.
Yeah,
And I
no,
think, design a flyer, I don't know, I think I sent it to you and Tyler.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I'm just along to
Yep.
pack fit,
Sorry,
pack
Nicole.
chairs and pack tables.
Busy, haven't had a chance to review it thoroughly, but. that's-
So if we
Well,
can,
the student at school who's, she's gonna,
Labor.
because she knows
Stand around
Canva better
smartly,
than I do, so
attention,
she
great
said
rest.
she would
I just help out.
help me, to print it so I can at least look to see if it came out.
so we want to do one day on the 24th
When did, the 24th?
is the goal, right? I mean, we're all,
Okay, we'll do the last one.
if you do the 24th, by the time you're out of there, it's almost dark.
okay.
It's almost done.
Almost dark.
Oh, so how?
Oh, yeah, we'll be by then, won't it?
Cohen wants to know more about it.
I must have been hearing something like
I can't do the 3rd, but I could get the stuff somewhere to somebody.
How much is it? How much stuff is it? Just a table and a,
So we, it depends on what you want, right? So we have a table and we have an awning.
oh, yeah.
A table and a what?
Awning, like,
Tent.
Oh, the tent.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
which is actually a real
If
hassle.
it rains on the 24th, you probably,
That's what, yeah.
See you next year.
Yeah.
that's when we fold our table and go home.
Well, there's been days where, they set up, they're ready to go, and then you hear the thunder, and it gets,
I think it was the strawberry stroll. which had nothing to do with the market, but I felt bad because Downtown Partnership had 2 tables, 2 ladies, and it started to pour, and there was no tent over them. And they didn't have their cars there.
Oh.
And, you know, they were just standing there like, what do I do? You know?
So bring it to
Mark, I could come over and pick them up.
Well, I
Can we do that?
I can do the
Yeah, I can help
24th if
out.
we're doing that, but if you guys want to do the, I mean, I could bring it to the meeting on the 2nd.
The 17th?
That's the Friday,
Well,
right?
then you said it's still getting, it's kind of getting dark at that time.
Yeah, it's
so-
been another 24, but yeah.
So, all right, what about the 10th then, October 10th?
That's another one I wouldn't be able to do, but.
So can you do the 3rd?
Of
No,
October?
the 3rd and the 10th, I'm out
Okay.
for Fridays, but the 17th and the 24th, I could
Do the 17th.
help out.
Okay.
So we can do the 17th, and you and I can,
I can do something.
okay, yes, maybe we can divvy
I
it
mean,
up.
I'll be there to be able to help you set it up and take it down,
I'll bring it.
but I usually get pulled in 13
No,
directions.
don't worry about that, I can come
Yeah,
set it up,
Yeah.
and then maybe we'll just
I'll
divvy up.
come over.
I can
Yeah,
do
we'll divvy up
17th.
time, so, because you're busy with other stuff, so I don't want to, all right.
How's the honey?
Sweet.
So 17th, okay, farmer's
Good.
market. And that'll be 2 to 6, right? Okay,
Whoever's writing the minutes is gonna hate this last little bit.
We're still being recorded.
probably.
Oh, yeah,
We're in trouble.
All right, so that's good, so,
The 17th?
17th, so we've got a date, and we'll look at that flyer. All right, good, I'm glad you brought it up.
Well, the reason why I did, because the flyer I addressed in there about don'ts with living on a wetland, and that would be like, do not grow your yard
Yeah, right, well, it's
into the,
a good point.
Yeah.
So for this, it's just like flyers and passing out things.
Yeah,
and answering questions, they,
yeah, you get people come by and ask a few things, so.
Like, what do you people actually do?
we keep Chris here until 10:15
I know.
at night.
Yeah, we'll keep people here.
Make a motion to close the hearing.
Yeah,
I
second that, all right.
Vote to close.
Vote to close.
Close.
Thank you,
Thank
Roger.
All right, good job, guys.